Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Woo-wee! Welcome, everyone, to episode 49 of the Dirt Life Show. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate everybody, as always. Thank you so much. You guys are our lifeblood, so we can't thank you guys enough for just joining us and commenting in, man. With all the stuff we've seen on social media lately has been super, super cool. So, like I said, episode 49 of the Dirt Life Show tonight.
I remember when we did 19.
I know, right? That's favorite number.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm Georgie Hamill, my buddy Casey Peck in the studio.
What's up, fellas and ladies?
Yeah, and ladies, too. I got corrected this past week and made sure that I include the ladies in whatever I say. So, I want to make sure that we're shouting out to the ladies for sure. Yeah, so we're stoked for tonight's show, man. There's a lot to talk about. There's all kinds of racing just got started back up again. Stuff going on in the Midwest, out east, out west here, California. The Dirt Life Show had an awesome week last week. We spent some time in Southern California. Casey had a pretty awesome week. He learned some news tricks as well. Yeah, so we are stoked because we get to talk to one of our partners tonight. And a good friend of ours now. We've known him for about a year. His name is Travis Zollinger. He's going to be our featured guest tonight. And Travis has a pretty long list of accomplishments, man. They operate Zollinger Racing Products in, I think it's called Nibley, Utah. I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyways, Zollinger Racing Products is a really, really good company. We have one of their products right here. It's I think it's a Can-Am engine case cover or a transmission cover or something because it's got the housing for the drive line right there. But anyways, he has done some cool stuff, man. He started with snowmobiles and worked his way doing side-by-side stuff now, and I can't wait to talk to him because he's got so much to talk about.
I'm interested to see how it starts, and then you don't even try. Well, I mean, he tries, but all of a sudden, all these other things branch off. I'm interested to hear all that.
And how it starts building, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like
those parts of building businesses or even building like a racing program are super interesting.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
So, and one of the coolest accolades that he has now is he won the Mint 400 in the Unlimited UTV class just a few months ago here.
Heck yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah, let's thank all our sponsors before we get too far into the show. I want to thank, obviously, Zollinger Racing Products for being on board since day one. Like I said, they have awesome products. So while we're talking to Travis tonight, if you guys want to go and check out some of the products that they make, go to ZollingerRacingProducts.com. And if you feel like buying something, use the code DIRTLIFE, and you can save a whole bunch of money. So, and thank you to the guys at KMC Wheels. I was able to spend some time with a whole bunch of forged KMC wheels, and Ryan Edwards also showed up.
Nice.
to the Honda show this last week, man.
Sweet.
So two things I got from that. First of all, was the dedication he has to the off-road industry is like mind-blowing. So it was really awesome to see that. They have some super cool projects in the works. Some of those forged wheels that we saw. We have a wheel here in the studio over here behind your left shoulder, Casey. It's called the KMC Grenade wheel. I think that's a Polaris bowl pattern, but it's a super solid wheel. But that's what is it called? The process called cast. The forged ones are super light and just crazy good looking. I mean, like they look like pieces of art, like what the Zollinger guys do, man.
Nice.
They're just machined so perfectly. So it was awesome to see some of those products like in action for the actual Honda race team. So
awesome. I bet he's pumped to be part of it.
Oh man, well they've been together for years. So
Sure.
It's like it's super cool to see that relationship, and also just to see the progress and how they like advance all that stuff. So we can talk a little bit about what the Dirt Life was doing over there at Honda in just a little bit, but thank you very much to the guys at Shock Therapy as well. We have we're going to announce some contest winners today. So at the last live podcast we did with Matt Burke and Justin Smith over at Shock Therapy was a week and a half ago, and Justin called out and said we need a new nickname for Matt. His nickname was Dino Jet Matt from working at Dino Jet.
So he needs a new name.
Yeah, because he works for Shock Therapy now. And so we have some winners now. So
Sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it'll be cool to award those guys. We got a whole bunch of people who were commenting in on social media trying to give them names, and we boiled it down to 3, and we ended up picking 1. But we got a surprise though. So
What's up, guys?
Hi guys. Brian Clark, Brian Hawkins, and also Alfonso jumping on.
What's happening?
So thank you very much to Alfonso too, because he was a crucial piece of the Honda stuff that we did. He was helping me with doing some of the filming and stuff. So he learned a lot, and I also gained too. So or the
That's
Dirt
awesome.
Life gained.
So he got to see him in person. I bet he's super pumped too.
Both of us were, man. Seeing that type of racing organization functioning and doing well and coming up through the ranks, I left there going, this industry is going to grow so much bigger than it already has because of operations like this. And Honda's not the only one doing it. Polaris obviously does it. Yamaha does it. So it's so cool to see that type of progression in the side-by-side off-road industry.
I feel like Honda stepping in late now has to do it. Just how you would expect Honda to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really do.
It's almost not a surprise just because of us growing up, knowing about Honda motorcycles and stuff.
But we never lived the operation.
No,
When
agreed.
we were racing dirt bikes, right?
Agreed.
And I got to feel a little bit of that passion and see some of the insight.
Oh, yeah.
So it was super, super cool, man. So thank you very much to Jeff Proctor, Adam Gunn, Evan Weller, and all the guys up there, man. And like I said, Ryan at KMC Wheels for having us up there was cool. So we'll talk about that. But and thank you to the guys at Rugged Radios for always helping out. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ruggеdradios.com and save some money on the communication devices. One of the things that I was going to tell you is that with those communication devices, you surprised me the other day when you said you picked up we'll call it a dual sport or a off-road bike.
Yeah, look out.
That's pretty cool, though.
450X. It's an old Betsy, but it'll get her done.
It's not one of those. What was that dude's name that he was so strong? He could
Yeah,
lift the
right.
600.
So back in the day, I guess that kind of would have been what it was, but then
that was a 600.
It was
right?
a 600.
An air-cooled 600?
Exactly.
Super long ago.
But from what I understand, then or around that point when the new generation of four strokes were great or whatever, that's when they decided, okay, let's build the enduro version of the motocross supercross bike.
Yeah. So is it pretty heavy or is it?
It's still pretty heavy, but it's been a long time since I've had one. So
even the 450L that I had was 280, 290 pounds. Like it's heavy. It's
electric start and freaking.
It's not as easy as dirt
lights.
bike to lift
No,
on the stand.
definitely not. When I'm moving it around, I'm like, dang, maybe I'm just old, which is true.
So that's what I thought too. So I was thinking like when I first got it, I was thinking like, holy crap, this thing is heavy. Like, am I just like super weak? And I was like, well, I might go get one of the kicker stands.
Yeah, totally.
Put it on the stand.
Well, remember when we used to grab it and do that little hip swing over? It's no big deal. I got this.
Yeah, like 16, 17 years old,
Holy
throwing it up there.
Crap. I just scooted it around the garage. It was like, whoa, this is not light.
The good thing that I can say about that, though, is that sometimes having that weight when you're out on the trails and stuff, moving it around, like, will allow you, like, once you get used to it, it allows you to flex it a little bit more and, like, move around. It's pretty cool.
Right. It's probably wants to keep going, would be my guess.
Yeah, and, like, move over rocks and stuff.
Yeah,
like, instead of getting pushed by a rock,
right,
it can push through the rock.
Right. That makes sense. Yep.
It was pretty cool, though. So I can't wait to see you riding that thing, man. That's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've had, a lot of people, yourself, Jeremy Joie, we all grew up riding, and Jeremy's been all over me for a couple of years now. Hey, man, I got all these bikes in my garage. Come ride with me.
You remember our buddy Coleman Manchester, too?
Of course,
yeah.
Yep. So Jeremy and Coleman are like, all right, let's go check out the trail. So thanks to you hitting up Josh and Josh Schroeder, friend of the show, Thor. He hooked me up with some pants and jersey and gloves. Appreciate that. And Jeremy helped me find some boots and a helmet. So I'm pretty close. Yep. I'm not going to rush it, but I'm pretty close. So,
that's going to be cool. And then you came up with a good idea that we should probably, let's keep it a secret, but we'll show our audience when you get your jersey finished, what it's going to look like. We'll bring it in the studio and show everybody.
Be awesome.
I think it'll be pretty cool. So I'm pretty stoked on that. And to be honest, after you sent me that picture, was it a week ago or something? But you sent me that picture. I'm like, shit.
It's like 3. It's going so fast.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I know.
Time's flying by. I was like, shit, man. Now I got to get another dirt bike.
It's pretty much exactly what Courtney said. My wife, Courtney, I love her. I warned her that I was.
Did she say you're going to be the catalyst?
Well, first, okay, so, I had people around the family that were, consoling and helping us through this tough time with Pops and all that. And, thank you to everybody. In fact, Ramon stopped me at QT. He pulled out of his vehicle and kind of cut me off and came to me to
give you a hug.
Oh man, thanks, man. That made my day. It literally did. And what a good guy.
That's super cool.
That was a little sidebar. Sorry. So
well, even more of a sidebar. Did you get the mango iced tea?
I always get the mango iced tea.
That QT.
Well, that's not true. Sometimes I get the passion.
So
unsweet.
The passion one is good too. But I was super pissed off being in California all last week. I couldn't have it.
They don't have those. No, it's not QTs. Far enough yet. So anyways, yeah, we told her, Jeremy and I were hanging out, and I was like, hey, babe, I think Jeremy and I are going to go check out that bike. I showed her, right? She's like, yeah, whatever. And she looks at Jeremy. She's like, are you going to, I mean, here we go, right? Are you going to be the one that takes him to the wherever when he wads himself up? And he's like, yeah, of course. So anyways, that next day or 2 days later, I'm driving home and I just call her. I'm like, hey, babe, I'm coming home early real quick. I'm dropping off the bike. And she goes, oh, ish. That's all she said. Anyways, I'm in a different stage of my life. I just do some trail riding and keep it slow. So
it is kind of different, though. Like a lot of people, well, may or may not understand. But we used to be like really into it, right? Like balls to the wall all the time at the motocross track and stuff. But it's totally different when you go out on the trails and you just have fun.
Yeah, like I said, I think if you can keep your mindset. Don't get me wrong. I mean, things happen, but as long as you go into it with a different
competitive spirit. But since we're since we're the old farts now, the competitive spirit's a lot less.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And thank you very much to the guys at Solder Weld as well.
Right here.
We're gonna have to put off-road repair
Thanks for the shirt
in your vest.
Yeah, no kidding.
So off-road guys wear vests now, the tools and stuff.
Nice.
You can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and buy yourself your own off-road repair kit. We just gave away some prizes to those guys. We actually showed the off-road repair kit to the guys at Honda and to a few other companies when we were in California last week. And it's pretty amazing the reception that everybody gets. Like it's like, oh my God, like why didn't we have this already?
So cool.
So it's pretty neat, and I'm glad that the Dirt Life is starting to have a platform where we can offer, to share that kind of stuff. Because not only does it help Solder Weld, it helps every single other person that gets one. So
for sure,
it's pretty cool. Oh, and Billy Slade just chimed in as well. So Billy's going to call in a little bit, talk a little bit of industry stuff with us. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Cool.
Before he calls in, how many minutes do we got left? So it's 6:15. Oh, we only got 2 minutes. So we can try to fit in some of the Honda stuff when we have these conversations. But man, I had a good time last week. It was really cool. Got to do some road biking. Got to hang out by the beach. Got to see a bunch of friends. Got to have a billion meetings. Like it was just really neat. Like
awesome.
And I love when you can have weeks that you feel like they were progressive because it makes you feel like you accomplished something.
Right.
So it really made me feel good to be able to do that, especially in these trying times when people are just, we'll call it static, I guess you could say. So for me to have the opportunity to take the Dirt Life out there and have all these progressive meetings was so, so cool.
How about the cycling tan?
Oh, so I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it's looking pretty good. So we caught the man tan, the Mandex tan.
Mandex tan, yeah.
Man.
I know the feeling.
So it was pretty good. I got burnt a little bit. I think California, you might need a little bit higher SPF sunblock to protect yourself.
I feel like maybe the water helps that.
The reflection.
Yeah.
So, but I had a fantastic time. It was super cool out there. And obviously, like I said, having all the business stuff happening as well, it really makes you feel like rewarded. Like because, I think I'm working hard, right? Like I know I'm working hard on the show and trying to get it out there and build it as big as possible for everybody. But then to see people actually noticing it and to see them like, wow, George, you are doing a good job, or whatever they're saying, like it really makes you feel good.
Yeah, that's cool. And it helps really for sure.
Well, it helps because it also makes you want to work harder and grow the show even more. You know what I mean?
I do.
So, and talking about growth and stuff, the side-by-side industry has been growing like wildfire, man. There's all kinds of different new and exciting things happening. Billy Slade's on the phone, too. What's up, Billy?
How we doing, guys?
Doing wonderful, man. How are you?
Good. Casey, I'm sorry. Did your father pass away?
He did, yes. He did.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. My condolences.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude. And, we were talking about it on the show, like, was it 2 weeks ago? How he taught us to ride bicycles backwards, like sitting on the handlebars trying to pedal backwards. Billy, it was pretty cool.
So many things, yep.
Yeah, those are the things that you'll never forget.
I know, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And they were pretty awesome. And then so Casey got himself is it called enduro bike or dual sport? Like
450X. I think it's just called a.
But what's the general?
Yeah,
term?
what's the genre? I think it's an enduro.
Okay.
I think.
Or like a
cross
desert
country
bike or something.
Cross country, maybe.
Because I know the 450L they call it dual sport because it's pavement and dirt.
Right.
But
I think it's cross country.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
I don't know.
Anyways, Billy, Casey got one of those dirt bikes, so I can't wait to go rip.
Oh, there you go. That'll get you in trouble on and off the road.
That's for sure.
Exactly. Oh, you know what I forgot to say? I was going to tie it in, but Rugged Radios actually offers stuff that you can wear on the moto, like a moto kit, that you can communicate with the guys in the side-by-sides.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I was thinking about, instead of getting one of the motorcycle-centric systems or whatever,
right,
to just start doing that next time.
That'd be cool.
Because if we go in the dunes.
Yeah, now they have. Yeah, and they have the push-to-talks on the handlebars and everything now, so it makes it super easy if you want to just strap one of those kits on, and then you can just run around with everybody and still have a conversation.
Wow, that is cool.
On the handlebars?
For the
really?
So that's
yeah,
the
they have
push?
a push. Yeah, they have a push-to-talk similar to like in the UTVs, but they have a kit now that plugs into your radio, so that way you don't have to take your hand off of the handlebars to actually hit your push to talk. It's just right there on your handlebars.
That's sweet until you get your drunk buddy in the middle of the night switches it out for like a boost button on your ignition.
There you go.
There's so many things you can add on now too.
Yeah.
Like it gets so busy. I've been, since I've been out of it for so long, just tooling
Well, they
around.
got a start button now.
Holy moly!
Then they got a map switch button.
Right.
Like all kinds of shit. So
it's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of
motorcycles are definitely getting very intense with their handlebar controls. And a friend of mine just bought a new R1, and it's with the traction control and the wheelie control. And he's an old school rider that just started in the 03, 04 R1s, and he's like, man, this thing is just like way too smart. And it's like I go to do something, and the bike doesn't want to do that. So it's very for the newer generation, they'll be used to it. But for the guys that have been riding for a long time, it's hard to get used to all the technology that's packed into them now.
Does it have a banana and turtle shooter?
Mm-hmm. Like Mario Kart?
Mario Kart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, speaking about that's kind of a good transition into our next topic. I know that because I'm super into sports cars and stuff, but the new Corvette C8, even like the Highline ones, have so many restrictions, like with the computers and stuff, you can't even peel out. Like even if you turn off the traction control, it doesn't let you do it. So I was thinking about the same things, like for side-by-sides. Side-by-sides are not necessarily that you can't peel out, but that they have so much computer stuff now, like the ride command system in the Polaris. Like, what's the other stuff that you got in the Polaris, Billy? Like you have some like the GPS stuff and the trail mapping and all that.
Yeah, and that's all built into the ride command, which is super awesome because it's basically all those features packed into one head unit, and it kind of works seamlessly with the car. You get a full GPS system, and realistically, I wouldn't compare it to like a Lowrance or anything like that. It definitely is for the weekend warrior, and I doubt the racers are actually using it because I don't think you can really go into details and plot certain warning signs, things like that. But the fact that you can pipe audio through it, so you Bluetooth from your phone into that, and then you can extract the audio into a stereo system. You can extract the audio and push it into a rugged radio system for your headsets. So there's just,
there's all the buttons that obviously you can control the suspension and stuff, like the Shock Therapy IQS, and obviously Polaris has those types of things already integrated in their vehicles. But one of the guys that I got a message this week from a text message this week from somebody saying, "How do I get the Polaris ride command system in my WAG-Z?" Like that's how hardcore they like the Polaris system.
Call Shock Therapy,
right? And I'm sure it probably can be hacked, but you would need the wiring diagram to actually pull the certain features that you need.
Makes sense.
And then adding a GPS antenna. I don't think it's impossible to do. I think it's going to take somebody dedicated to do it, but it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I think it's a fantastic system. So, kudos to Polaris for doing that. But my politically correct answer was go buy a AEM CD7 dash kit for your Yamaha WAG-Z because it's plug and play.
There you go. Yeah. Yep. That's also true.
Yeah.
But there's also probably a lot of features that, that they've probably seen on that ride command that probably is not offered in a Lowrance, so probably, like the extracting and the input of audio and other small features that the weekend warrior wants and loves to have.
Exactly. So some of the stuff that we were talking about, like of the development of the side-by-side industry, has been pretty crazy because there's been like rumor mills and all kinds of stuff happening in the past, 2 months, 6 months, whatever we want to call it. But, like new vehicles being launched and...
That's a freaking good sign, right?
Well, it is.
Yeah, I think 2020 and 2021 is going to be very interesting for the side-by-side market. And I think it's going to take a turn that everybody kind of thinks it's going, but I don't think anybody's really prepared to see what's going to be out there and what's going to come available.
So I had some conversations. I have to say that they were private conversations about the repercussions when things like this happen and the positivity and every single aspect of the way that the business works when new vehicles launch and stuff. But it's awesome for the market because it brings a new platform, right? Or it brings a new, vehicle out,
right? And competition in the marketplace,
but it shits on everybody else.
Yeah, no, it does. But at the same time, it's like that whole, when you're a little kid and you do that. Yeah, when you put your hand on the bat and the next guy does it, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's pretty bad for the person that just bought their
Razor.
Well,
I
actually,
get you there.
Not that it's bad for Billy, but Billy is in a good position where we can talk about this. Like he just got done building his car. What was it, 8 months or a year ago, Billy? And your car is fairly new, but you're going to probably.
Oh no, I actually built that car. I bought that car December 30th to get some Polaris rebates that were going on. Then started the build in February. So technically that car's 4 months old. But yes, that is the one downfall to these cars is that they are ever changing so fast. A 2-year-old car is worth 50% of whatever you paid for it and plus the parts that you put into it. So yes, this community is evolving so fast that, unless you're planning on keeping the car for 10 years and you don't want the newest, then it's pretty much, that is, like you said, that is the one hardest part, for people that paid full retail for a car and put every last dime they had into it thinking it was going to last. And
I think it's good timing though, because of all of the stuff that's being able to leave the showroom floors right now. If a new vehicle does come out and it has all these new things, like what we can talk about a little bit, but, that's going to sell like freaking hotcakes, even if it's expensive.
Right, and maybe brick and mortar gets to take a breath, right? Because they're like, I got rid of all my inventory in this frenzy.
Instead of having it all left?
Yeah, instead of, hey, I got 2016 sitting here for half price or whatever.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, and I actually have a friend that just bought a dealership and, under his contract, he has to sell a certain amount of units and he has to grow a certain amount. Well, because of everything that's hit, he has the sales, but he doesn't have the vehicles at this point because of everything that's going on.
Right.
So now he's kind of like, well, I don't know where I'm at with this because I signed a contract stating I would sell X amount of units. And yes, I do have the people that want to buy them, but I can't get any units. And I don't think any dealers are really dealer trading any units for anything because most dealers don't even have units.
Yeah, so that's going to be good when they get these new units in. So what's the rumor mill like lately, Billy?
Oh, I mean, I hear a lot of things, coming out on the Polaris. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody has any hard evidence, but there's definitely, a lot of talk. And then, Robbie's car is supposed to come out, which, I think, like I said, it's going to be an interesting year between those two cars and to see, Can-Am has already shown their cards with their 2021 model. So now it's kind of up to Polaris and the Robbie Gordon car to kind of see where things go. And
the stuff that Robbie Gordon's doing looks fantastic on paper. I just really hope that he's able to execute on his wishes.
Is it
right? And I think that's the hardest thing is, he's selling a lot, based on, a piece of paper and drawings and, not to knock him or anything, but it's really hard. I know he has a lot of people switching over and, basically holding on and, to pay $1,500 almost a year ago now and still be waiting on a car. I personally couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The money thing is different, but the car, if it's done, it's going to be fucking awesome.
So if anybody that doesn't know, myself included, is it aimed at the high-end market or just another
He has different levels of the vehicle. Like there's one with like a closed capsule or a closed cab, and then there's like one that looks like a truck. But all of them have, I guess, traits from the racing stuff.
Okay.
So where they mount like the tie rods, and where they put the steering rack, and like where they put the suspension geometry points, and like so he has all of that stuff in a much more in a much better location than somebody that would just be a general OEM.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
But
yeah, and there's a lot of things about his car that are race inspired. Like A-arms can be left or right, uppers and lowers. Trailing arms can be left and right.
Smart, yep.
And he has basically from what I've heard, is a 225 horsepower motor. And I've heard that it's based off of the Z1 platform, the Arctic Cat snowmobile motor that he somehow either bought into or bought patents or whatever to basically build that, tweak it, and put it into so they won't be using the Yamaha motor anymore. They'll be using a Z1 altered motor in that. And it'll be 225. And then with another key that you can buy, it'll be a 300 horsepower car.
Dang.
It's pretty cool, though.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. So, like, but you just kind of cross your fingers and hope that he gets it done, because that's one of the things that we're talking about, like elevating the industry.
Yeah, sure.
So, but no matter what happens, OEMs, especially the Japanese, will never, ever use him as a baseline platform to manufacture anything. They will always do their own thing and take little pieces and chunks of a vehicle design maybe and try to see if they can, achieve certain things that they want to. But they'll never, ever use him as a baseline.
Right.
And I'm super excited for Honda when they finally come out with a desert car, because I know right now the car that they've developed has more been, I would say, to compete with, like the Polaris XP1000 chassis, kind of, like that. I think they said it's something like 80% of the vehicles that are sold are sold as like 64-inch wide cars.
Yes.
The other 20% is the Southwest region of the United States. And we all want bigger, wider, more power, bigger cars.
Yeah, I think actually the percentage numbers is less for the guys like us.
And that one's kind of hard to stomach sometimes when you're sitting in this crowd, right? Like you want, I want that one.
Exactly.
Right.
Everybody that goes to the dudes thinks they're the cool guys, right? Yeah.
This is what everybody wants.
No,
yeah.
Not even close. Yeah. So I heard again some private conversations, but those numbers are a lot less. But it's pretty cool to know that it's growing that hard, that somebody like Robbie Gordon can go out and make a vehicle just for that. We'll call it 15 or 20%.
Right. And he's going to do everything he can. It's his namesake, right? He's not going to. So you could, like you said, it would suck to put that earnest money down or whatever for how long it's been. But I think you almost have to know that it's going to come through because it is his namesake. That'd be my feel.
Yeah, he's going to do a good job no matter what. I just hope he makes it on his goals.
Right.
So.
So
one of the things that I wanted to talk about, Billy, is like you said, there's no hard evidence. We haven't heard anything from any sources of our own. But we've seen a lot of rumor mills online, social media, and all that stuff that the big manufacturer Polaris is coming out with a 4-cylinder and it has a dual clutch transmission.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I've heard too. So it's supposed to be modeled after the Slingshot motor that they just developed. So the older Slingshots had an Ecotech motor that I think it's a GM motor, and now they've developed their own 4-cylinder engine. But based on the CCs, I don't know if they're going to basically, bring it down on CCs to get it still within that 1000 CC class. I think those are all the things. And then I know weight restrictions have something to do with it too, because at that point, then you have to start doing crash testing based on weight. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with. Or Polaris is always known. I mean, they're kind of the originator in the sport side-by-side just to make a new class and say, this is a whole new vehicle. I mean, it's kind of the same thing when they went from the 800 to the 900 to the 1000.
Yeah, exactly. And we all have our favorite manufacturers and everybody likes their brands and stuff like that. But you got to appreciate, no matter who it is, whether it's the big dogs or the little dogs, to come out with new innovations like that. Like Robbie Gordon is doing what we think he's doing. It's fantastic that he's doing it, right? Mm-hmm. But the level that he's competing on is nowhere near what we just mentioned that we saw on social media with what potentially Polaris is coming out with.
Right.
So if they do, that's like a complete market game changer.
Yeah, it changes the landscape, right?
Absolutely.
Where his is just kind of it's a niche and it's still awesome, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, and I've also heard it's going to be wider than a 72 car from Polaris. So,
man, we're going to have to figure out how to get that. Maybe they're going to sell a kit that you can put in the toy hauler.
Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah.
It comes with a trailer for
exactly,
an extra whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Polaris gets into the trailer game.
Yeah, well, I think most of the toy haulers right now, if you look at them, if they will fit a Turbo S, which is 72, most of them are about 76 inches wide. But that's also going to leave you, let's say the car does come out to be 74 or 76 inches wide. You won't be able to put your sand, wheels, and tires on your car to put it in your trailer. So that'll be something that people, and that's even if you have 76 inches to give, and that's going to be wall to wall.
Yeah. We always just we crank the AR or the suspension together so that you can fit it in there.
Don't let the kids park it.
Yeah, exactly. So we just put tie-down ratchet straps between the arms or something and move the wheels closer.
Makes
but I
sense.
also heard this new car is also a lot taller too. So, I mean, I don't know, then you're worrying about height restrictions.
Maybe it's where I've been wanting to go, monster truck style.
Yeah, right. Nice.
There you go. Yep.
So we got Myles Cheek's going to be calling in a little bit, dude. He's a Polaris guy, and he just I don't want to say cleaned house, but he won pretty much everything except for the last final this weekend. He won all the qualifying. He won practice. He won everything.
Nice.
So he did really good. I bet you if he can get a 4-cylinder, he's going to be pumped too.
Oh yeah. I'm sure there's going to be that's what I was saying. Once again, 2020 and 2021 is going to be a very interesting year. And I mean, you think about it, in 2008 when Polaris released the Razor, people were like blown away. They're like, "What is this?" And I mean, it's been literally the evolution ever since. So I can't even imagine another 5 years from now you'll look at whatever's about to come out and be like, "Remember when that was the coolest thing?"
Yeah.
And it won't be.
Exactly.
So.
I actually got to reminisce. I got to go on a road bike ride with Craig Scanlon this last Friday here. And actually, I spent time with Jesse Nelson in the morning putting on his shock therapy shock spring kit.
Nice.
And then
I watched that.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. And then we went road biking a little later. Craig and I went from somewhere I think in Yorba Linda down towards the beach, towards Newport. But it was cool to reminisce because he was talking to me about some of the stuff that, obviously I saw from the outside of the invent of the Razor and things like that, of the Razor 800, and how he put together some of the campaigns for it and advertising and stuff. And to get his insight on it was super fun to hear about all that stuff, man. It was going through an older magazine and just being like, wow, that's what you guys did to make this all happen.
That's so cool.
Right. So you got kind of like that inside look at, kind of where this all started and how it has evolved into something like this. And I don't think anybody out there would have ever guessed that the side-by-side market would have been here where we're at right now, just dominating so many markets.
100%. I mean, there's a billion people that were helpful in that, but me just hearing his side of the story too, and understanding the things that he did along with Joey D from UTV Underground and stuff, it was really cool because then you get a real insight as to how influential and how important those people were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Yeah. They were the technically the forefathers that, kind of stepped out of the box and put their foot forward first to make something that we have today.
And you got to give them some serious kudos because they didn't know anything. They were shooting in the dark.
It's pretty cool. Pretty exciting.
Yeah. And it could have been a huge flop and they could have not taken off like so many other things that are out there.
Yeah, but it really did good. All right, man. Hey, we got to let you go because Myles is calling in, but I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for calling and having some fun with us.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, homie.
Thanks for the condolence, Billy. Appreciate it.
All right. Later.
Brian Clark says stacker trailers for Polaris.
Yeah, he's going to need and take out the middle part because they're going to be so tall.
Gosh.
Looks like Myles is calling in already. So, Myles, what's up, dude?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, same old stuff, man.
Enchiladas is what's going on.
Oh, yeah. So, Chef Myles Cheek here. So, for our audience members that don't know, Myles was on episode 2, I think, of the Dirt Life Show almost a year ago, man. And during that episode, we found out not only just does he haul ass in a race car, but he wanted to be a chef. I don't know if he still has that same dream, but
it's trying to be more of a home cook now. But I just love to cook too. But just made some ground beef tacos tonight for me and my dad. But
oh yeah,
hopefully then a little bit later, Travis Pickler, right?
Yeah.
He caught some yellowtail yesterday, so I'm going to go over there and make some sashimi.
Oh,
Sell the
dang.
ponzu and all that.
Dude, you're going hard.
Well, speaking of cooking up some wins, right?
Exactly. So we were talking a little bit about it earlier on the show, Myles. It's kind of cool to have the Dirt Life was busy this past week in Southern California. It was neat to see that racing's getting started in the Midwest, out on the West Coast, and obviously you participated in the Lucas Offroad Professional Series this weekend. How was it, man?
It was awesome. I'm so pumped that we could finally get out there and race again, even if fans couldn't be there. But they still got to watch on the live stream, so it's a little bit different not seeing everyone up there in the crowd. You get to hear them after the race when you're up there on the podium. But just super blessed that Lucas is putting on the races right now, even with all this stuff going on. So
was it
giving us all of us racers still an opportunity to go and race.
Yeah, it's super cool. Was it like way different in the pits or like in staging and stuff? Like, did you guys have to like? What was the difference?
It was like a practice, not like practice, but like the Friday before the race. Like where you're running the 3 practice sessions. It was just kind of like that, like all day through Saturday and Sunday too.
Right on.
Did it make it feel less pressure or more pressure because of that?
A little bit of less, I'd say.
Was there still a good car count?
Oh, yeah. There was still 15 to 16 cars in my class. There was a ton of Pro 2s out there, a ton of Pro Lights. It looked like there was a few more turbo cars out there this year, too. In the 170 class, that's getting pretty big also.
Dude, I love that. The 170 is the little kids.
Oh, that's what okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's like my favorite class to watch, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because they only
full
know
noodle?
full noodle. That's it.
Light switch.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
Well,
and those kids are getting good too. The racing's getting pretty fun to watch for them.
So we got to call our buddy Brian Forrester to see how his kid did because Tatum went out there and they had some fun too. So
nice.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the racing, dude. So before we talk about your racing, how was all the other racing? Because I know, like, whenever I'm at the races, I always have to go watch the Pro 2 or last year I watched the Pro 4 class. So did you get to watch any of those races?
Yeah, it was kind of nice since we went a little bit later in the day, and Pro Light was the opening race of the day, or right after opening ceremony. So it's not too often that I get to watch that class. That's always been my favorite class to watch.
Yeah, it's a really driver's class too.
Oh yeah, Saturday was a real good race. Pulvardi got out to the lead, I would say, just before the caution. Got out in the front, and Mason Prater, he was actually leading the race for a long time before the caution. He was driving really well.
Dang, that's cool.
Yeah, he was doing good. And Brock was up there, Mamer was up there, then Ronnie Anderson made his way up there to the second spot right there towards the end of the race.
Dang,
I can't remember who got third though.
Was Ronnie pushing through the pack? Because that sounds like it was probably a pretty hard fight then, because that track's not that easy to pass on either.
Yeah, that's a pretty tight track. I can't remember Ronnie's starting position. I think it was around the 5th or 6th spot. But, yeah, he worked hard for it and got it done.
Dang, that's pretty cool, man. And then those Pro Lights case are so hard. It's like spec racing, like, so it's really hard to be able to pass and stuff. So if you make a mistake, then you're getting around. But if you don't, it's really hard to pass the guy in front of you.
I bet. Makes for some good racing, but frustrating, I bet.
Yeah, you got to do that whole, like, Jeremy McGrath and just pressure him the whole time until he makes a mistake, and then you just drive by kind of thing.
Exactly. You just got to crack them because they're all running the same motors now. All that spec class stuff.
So the only thing that you can do is just torque converter and like some other stuff, just to whatever your preference is.
Tuning, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Torque converter, trans. You can still use who you want for that.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there any other good racing? Was there a good Pro 2 count?
Yeah, the Pro 2s looked pretty good. It was hard for me to get up there because they were the race right after me.
Oh, so you had to haul ass.
But it looked like Jarrett Brooks had a pretty solid weekend. He swept both days, so.
Dang, dude, that's pretty cool. And did he drive that new truck that he built?
His title.
Did he drive that new
truck?
What
was that? Not yet. That one's not ready. I think his plan is in Missouri.
Dang,
but
that's
not
pretty
100%
cool.
sure on that.
So he brought out his old girl and still waxed everybody, huh?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. He's a good driver, man.
Yeah, Jarrett's legit.
Would you like to drive one of those trucks or not really?
Oh, that's my dream.
What kind of truck?
Yeah, I want to. I want to do a Pro 2 at Crandon.
Dang, that'd be sick. That would be.
I want to get
cool.
out there and try to do the cup race with all those guys one day.
Dude, that would be super fun. Well, hopefully one of these days you can make it happen. I mean, you're driving like a boss now. You did super good this weekend.
Oh yeah, thank you guys.
So I was looking at the results because they still email me the stuff, even though I'm a has-been racer. Lucas emails me, so I feel important still. It's kind of nice. But I saw the qualifying. I saw pretty much every time you were on the track, except for the final main race, you were at least half a second ahead of everybody. So it looked like your car, everything was going super good.
Yeah, the car's working fantastic right now. Saturday went good for us. We just started on the front, and I was able to get out to the lead pretty quick. And we just stayed in the clean air, kept all the mud off the car, so ended up bringing it home. Then Sunday was I had to start back in the 6th spot from the invert. And, yeah, so, and it was a little bit more wet that day, so the car packed on with a whole bunch of mud and was having a little bit of trouble with the power steering. It kept kicking on and off on us, so they would just lock up on me, so that got pretty interesting. Then, thankfully, the final 2 laps, I got up into the 3rd position and got a good battle going with Robbie. Got up right behind him, made the pass, and I want to say one more lap, but
yeah, you never know, right?
I think I could have had Brock one more lap, but it would have been close.
That's cool, though. One of the things that I was thinking, too, is like, well, first of all, Myles is a fantastic driver, but when you come off the track and you're like, dude, I had a good race, and like you have those rivals that are going to race you clean and you're going to have a good time. Like I knew that both of them, even though both of them wanted to win, Brock Hager and Myles as well, I knew that both of them were happy with their performance, and that because those guys have been battling for years.
Right. Didn't leave anything out there.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's so much fun driving with Brock. I know he would never do anything to put me out of the race or anything like that. It's always been super fun battles with him. And especially with Robbie, too. Robbie's a super good driver, super clean. So it's going to be a good battle between us three the rest of the year.
How was the whole field? Was it pretty stacked up? I looked at some of the times, and it looked like, well, at least I think maybe on Saturday when I looked at the qualifying, maybe the top 7 positions or so were pretty close. But then after that, it kind of dropped off a little bit. And it looked like I think the spread on Sunday was a little bigger, too.
Yeah, Dallas Nord, he's been super fast this year. Nathan Berry. I'm sure there's a couple other guys I can't think of right now. Billy Nichols, he's been getting pretty fast lately, too.
So one of the guys that I didn't see on the list was Robert Stout. I didn't talk to Paul Yaw. I didn't see him out there though. Wonder where those guys were.
I think it's just some date conflicts, unfortunately, and I think his sponsors want him to run the MX-5 stuff. I'm not 100% sure on all that.
Oh yeah,
but it's a total bummer that he's not there. I want to race against the best guys, and Robert was the best guy last year. So
yeah.
Hopefully he can make it out to a couple races this year. He's another great guy to race with too, super clean. So
yeah, absolutely. It'll be cool to see everybody get out on track. And when's the next race actually?
Missouri is coming up the end of August, just before Crandon. I don't know the exact date of it, but it's going to be a triple header weekend.
So what do you mean triple header weekend? So you guys got to go to Missouri and then to Wisconsin?
Or it's going to be like we're racing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday out there.
In Missouri?
Yeah, 3 races in one weekend.
Dude, they're doing it like Supercross, just going hard.
For sure. Do you go into that with a different mindset because you got to keep it together? Or do you still just
feel like you got to keep the car a little bit
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're almost kind of like, okay, let's get through the first one and start warming up to the second one, and the third one you're like, okay, let's do it. Or is it like, make it happen? Yeah.
Hold on to the car a little bit more on Friday and Saturday, then really let it hang out Sunday before we get home.
Right.
Yeah. So
let it eat.
And then do you go home right after that, or is Crandon like the next week where you can just like go to Wisconsin?
It's still a debate for us right now if we're going to go to Crandon or not, but since we won last year, my dad's he really wants to go, so I think we might make the trip out there again.
Dude, you did so good last year. It'd be a bummer if you didn't go again. Like, I just remember being so amped when you guys, like, I was watching and I was like, yes! Like, for the last few laps, I was just on the edge of my seat, like, just cheering.
Oh, yeah. So, and, like, all the fans out there are so cool, too. So, it's definitely a hard race to miss, but not sure what the plan is yet.
Just have to see. Can you read what those comments said, Case?
Yeah, Alejandro Ibarra said it was a good battle between Myles and Brock, and then he said you can do it, Myles, on the Pro 2. And I would say all you got to do is get a meeting set up with the team and cook for him. I mean,
just get some really bomb tacos, and he can get a trade for a ride.
Yep. If you can keep the whole group happy, then you're good.
So, you know what I just pictured? Like, you see those people standing on the side of the road, like, we'll work for food or whatever. Yeah. Myles is saying tacos for Pro 2.
Yeah, totally. That's your slogan, bro. That's your slogan from here on out. Just get some stickers made right now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool to see you. And have you ever tested in a truck, like a Pro Light or a Pro 2 or anything?
Yeah, I raced a Pro Light in the 2014 season.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so we had some good luck and bad luck that year. My best finish was second.
That's pretty good.
I got a couple fast lap awards. So just I was 15 at the time too. I was super young in the car. It was pretty new for all of us learning. Just car setup, torque converters, transmissions, and all that. Gear ratio is a little bit different than what we were used to. But just as we've gotten older, been around the sport a little bit longer, just hearing what people say, I think if we ever came back to it, we could really do something in the class.
I wonder if if you could figure something else out. Like we just mentioned, and I'm not saying this can happen or anything, but just trying to think creatively. So since Jared has that new truck coming out, if he's got other truck sitting there, if you could do a rent-a-ride.
We were talking about it a little bit last weekend, but
really?
Joking around. We were just joking around more than anything, but
that would be pretty cool, man. I would love to see it.
Sometimes that's how those start.
Yeah, like the whole best idea on a napkin idea. Like,
absolutely.
Dang, that would be pretty sick. So Missouri's the next one, man. That's a pretty far drive. I hated that freaking drive.
I bet, especially with the trailer and everything.
I think it took us about 3 days last year.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Are you guys gonna carpool up there or caravan up there with some fun other people?
I haven't planned it out too much yet, but it's probably just gonna be Tim, my crew chief, driving the truck and trailer, and I'll be following him right there in the motorhome. Nice.
That'll be good though, man. It'll be nice to get up there and just race for a couple days. I remember when we got there, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was hot as shit, but it was nice to just be in a different part of the country. Like, it was hard to get there, but it was nice to be there. So it'll be cool.
Oh, it's so beautiful once you get out there, though.
It really is.
All the green fields everywhere.
It really is. It's nice out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, dude, I'm stoked for you, man. It's like you had such a great weekend, and obviously you got to be out at the races with the family and everything. I'm sure you guys had an awesome time.
Oh, yeah, so much fun, but unfortunately my mom and sister weren't able to be there. My sister just had a baby on Tuesday, I think.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot the day, but yeah, she just had a little girl.
Dude, that's so rad. So your family's stoked, huh?
Uncle Myles.
Oh, yeah, so
yep.
Uncle Myles and Grandpa Chucky.
Yeah. I'm going to have to send your dad a message later to Grandpa Chucky. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's been busting him all over the weekend.
I bet.
He's matching his gray hair now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, we got to get going, dude. We got another call coming in. So thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. And like I said, congratulations on this weekend. You kicked some serious ass. So keep that going to Missouri.
Thank you, guys. And thank you for having me on again.
Always, dude. Anytime.
Nice work. We'll see you.
All right. Have a good one.
Later.
Too. Bye. Brian Hawkins, Missouri is beautiful, but way too damn humid for this desert kid. Yeah, this one too.
Yeah, it was pretty humid. I think when we were out there, it was 2017. I think it was somewhere around high 90s, low hundreds, but it was
90% humidity or 80 or something.
It was above 90% humidity.
Ugh.
There was people passing out everywhere, fit kids and stuff that were having some serious issues. So
gnarly.
So we have the shock therapy. We called them out last week and said we had Matt Burke, or not last week, the week before. We had Matt Burke on, and we Justin gave everybody the opportunity to win a $500 gift certificate if they could come up with a really good nickname for Matt. So he was DinoJet Matt, but now we got Matt Burke on the line. He's going to get a new nickname this week.
Is he going to debut it for us and tell us what it is?
He might.
He might.
So what's going on, Matt?
Not much. Just in the car at the moment. But I think we came to consensus on a good name.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool. So we had the contest. I actually thought it was a really cool contest. So we have a surprise for the winner, though. So last week we had Matt on the show, and he's been working for DinoJet for I think Justin said 7 years or so, and his name was DinoJet Matt the whole time. So this is like a pretty serious decision, right? So when we called everybody out, we got a few hundred actually suggestions, but it was pretty cool. So we had 3 top picks for his nicknames. The first one was Shock Dr. Matt. The second one was Maverick Matt. And the third one was Shocky Matt. And I wanted to make a comment on whoever picked the Shocky Matt, because I saw a few people, right? And I'm not calling one specific person out. But, dude, listen to the freaking video. I said Shocky Matt was not a good name specifically in the video that they had. Like, come on, guys. So I thought that was pretty funny because people were putting, hey, why don't you just call him Shocky? Is that one of those things where it's like in your subconscious and you just like comment it down or something?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they were like, you said it and it's terrible, so we're just going to say it again.
So put it this way, Shocky Matt did not win.
Good.
So
No, definitely not.
And I think Maverick Matt was a little bit too brand specific. I think Matt's trying to be a little bit more brand agnostic when it comes to a side-by-side. So the winner was Shock Doc Matt.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like it.
So I think it'll be pretty cool. So before, since it was DinoJet Matt, it was 2 syllables. And DinoJet is just... I think it's almost the same. One more letter with Shock Doc Matt. So I think that's super, super cool. And the actual contest was put on Facebook and Instagram. And there was 2 people that suggested.
They said the same one?
Shock Doc Matt.
No way.
So one of them was a little different. It was like Shock Doctor.
Okay.
But I called Justin, or I text messaged Justin this morning. And the surprise is that since they were so close, both those people get a $500 gift certificate.
Nice.
So
are you kidding me?
Awesome.
I'm not gonna ruin it, but are you kidding me? I'm looking at winners.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
I love it.
You want to announce them?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can go through it, dude. It's cool.
Razor Junkie. This guy's the man. Every time I turn around, he's winning something.
He's all over the place, right? So I don't know if you know, Matt, but Razor Junkie won a contest with us before.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's definitely a supporter of the Dirt Life Show. So,
Definitely.
So the 2 winners that we had on Instagram, Shock Doc Matt, was Razor Junkie. So Razor Junkie, please DM us, and then we'll get you hooked up with Justin and the guys and Shock Doc Matt over at Shock Therapy, and you can get your winnings, your $500 gift certificate there. And the second winner was also very into the contest, and they were on Facebook. And the reason I know is because they commented in and were talking to us about, how do I know if I won? So you did win. So it was Jody Workman. And Jody, you didn't have exactly Shock Doc, but I was able to squeak it in with Justin. So you also get a $500 gift certificate. So
Perfect.
That was really, really, really cool of Justin to step up and give 2 gift certificates away for those being such a close nicknames.
No doubt. So is it going to be, because I love the therapist, is it Shock Doc Matt at therapist.com?
Yeah, I know, something like that.
Shock Therapist, I love it. He's the doctor.
Shock Doc Therapist, Matt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I think that's a super cool name.
I definitely appreciate everyone that contributed. It was kind of fun to watch all the different variations of the name out there, and I'm very excited to start with this new name and
Nice.
run with it. So
Were they all clean or not?
Some of them were pretty funny though. Okay. Like, yeah, none of them had like anything super gnarly in them. They were pretty much PG-13.
Good.
But there was definitely some, and Matt could probably attest to this too. Like, I read through them and I was like, dude, come on, like.
Well, I mean, Shocky Matt could be taken a couple ways.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody didn't watch that show, I was going to actually comment in. Obviously, I'm excluded from winning the prize, but I was going to comment in saying like Swiss cheese Matt because he's had so many piercings, and see if I could get that. See if I could get that one passed by. So I thought there was some really, really cool names that were people submitted. So it was neat to see all the interaction.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So are you happy with the new nickname?
Very happy with the new nickname.
So
and I think so is Justin. So
yeah,
good.
So, but does that mean that he is like shock nurse now? He's not the doc anymore.
Yeah,
I think he's still the doctor.
Yeah, what do you call? What's the next in that?
Yeah, like the level
lineage
of hierarchy.
Or whatever. Yeah, hierarchy. There you go.
I don't know.
Chief surgeon.
Yeah,
maybe go. We're gonna have to think about that one now, huh?
Shock Master.
Yeah.
I do think that's really cool. Shock Doc Matt is like just rolls right off the tongue. So
yeah, it does.
Thank you everybody for participating in that contest. Obviously Matt's going to have to change all his nicknames and business cards now. So.
Yep, definitely. People will start seeing it transform tonight.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Well, thanks for calling in, bud. We really appreciate it, and I'm glad that everybody was able to give you guys your new nickname. So,
yeah, congrats on a good one.
Thank you, guys.
All right, homie. Well, we really appreciate it, and tell Justin we said thank you as well, and we'll get the contest winners over to you guys.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right, man. Have a great night.
And
All right, you too. Bye.
And Tyrone, you do need to get your car over to Shock Therapy to get it hooked up. Absolutely.
Oh, you got a comment coming in?
Yep.
So just to finalize it, Jody Workman and Razor Junkie, both please comment either on Instagram or Facebook and send us a message so that we can get you your $500 gift certificate for Shock Therapy. I really honestly can't thank Justin enough for being willing and able to give 2 gift certificates out.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
He didn't even flinch either. I said, hey, man, there's 2 people that came pretty close to saying the same nickname. He goes, don't worry about it.
He did the Oprah. You get a 500.
Yeah.
You get
I don't know if he's going to go full Oprah, but I was like, man, that is so cool. Because I was thinking, shoot, man, I'm going to have to bum somebody out.
$250 or $250 each or whatever.
Or something like that. And he was like, no, we can do it. No problem.
Sweet.
So Jody Workman, please DM us or message us on Facebook, and Razor Junkie also, please. And congratulations to both of you guys. You guys did a great job. And to all you other guys, you guys came up with some fantastic names too. Some of you guys are pretty silly, and I really appreciate you guys paying attention to these contests though, because they are for you guys, and I'm glad that you guys were able to win. So. That's super, super cool. Well, we need to get Travis Zollinger on. He's in Utah, so I think he's an hour ahead of us. So let's go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. We'll see you guys in a second. Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we are back. We got our buddy Travis Zollinger on the line. Travis is the owner of Zollinger Racing Products. He makes some fantastic parts. We have one of his, I think it's a case cover right here. He was able to do a giveaway with us earlier in the year for some of the billet aluminum 7075 radius rods that he produces. He produces spindles, all kinds of different knuckles, and awesome stuff for snowmobiles as well. And one of my favorite things about Travis is he just won the Mint 400. In the UTV Unlimited class. So welcome, Travis Zollinger, to the show.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
We're doing awesome,
Great.
man. How are you doing?
Doing really good. Really good. A little tired. That's okay.
Yeah, and we're going to get into why you were tired, but I wanted to make a comment real quick. And so we have a really loyal listener base, right? And one of the guys just won the Shock Therapy $500 gift certificate for doing a nickname contest with DinoJet Matt, now Shock Doc Matt. And he actually was the same one that won the radius rods that you gave away on the show.
Right on.
So the coolest part about
he must be lucky.
I don't know, or he just follows the rules because we have such a hard time with people following the rules.
Razor Junkie gets it done.
He really does. Maybe Razor Junkie's like super process oriented. And he just gets it done the same way we do.
Maybe so.
So yeah. Congratulations to those guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us, man. I know that you're super tired. You just had a long race weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, it was pretty long. We left on Monday.
Well, first of all, where'd you go?
Week. We went to Tennessee, raced some Ultra 4 racing.
So Tennessee is pretty far from Utah.
A little bit.
Yep. Yeah, it's a journey for sure. It was well worth it though. It was awesome trip.
So how are those Ultra 4 races like, especially in Tennessee, because it's got those gnarly uphills and those crazy like tight areas and stuff, right?
I would say Ultra 4 goes to the shittiest places and races. No, I mean not the shittiest, the best. If you want something tough,
yeah, like the gnarly places.
Ultra 4 is all about.
Yep.
Ultra 4, I think it makes you a better, well-rounded driver in everything, and it's very challenging. I know Vaughn Gitten's done it for a couple of years, and he really enjoys it a lot because of the challenge that it brings.
It looks like it's super crazy. So, how'd you guys do?
7th. I ended up hopping on my lid on the second lap. Tipped the car over on the driver's side and then on the lid. And so, yeah, I spent about 20 minutes getting it back on its tires, and that was my race. I way behind at that point. That was about a lap, was 20 minutes. So
how would you have done if you hadn't flipped over?
Well, I was in third physically. I started 8th. I would have never caught the guy that won, Jamie McCoy. He's super fast, and he killed us. He killed all of us. I think he lapped all the way up to second.
Holy smokes!
Wow, that's impressive,
dude. That is crazy.
Yeah, I think he lives like 2 hours away from the racetrack or something. So maybe he's ran that track a time or two. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
He'd have to call in and let us know.
The whole local thing, I mean, like, that's still, like, people can go fast, but lapping all the way up, like,
yeah,
that's crazy. Like, maybe getting, like, a 20-second lead, but, like, dude, that's nuts. Right. So what was one of the well, I know that you guys went over there, like, more prepared than you guys usually have because you've been putting a lot of effort into your racing program this year. So what was some of the highlights of the weekend?
Oh, highlights. Probably rolling my car and getting back on the tires and finishing. I mean, that's a major goal that we have this year, is to finish every race that we enter. We're barely keeping that strung together, especially after this weekend. But that's a challenge when you go and race Ultra 4s, and we're going to do Vegas to Reno in a couple weeks. That'll be just finishing those races is an accomplishment.
It really is. Billy Slade wanted to tell you what's up as well. And what did Robert Hargis say?
He said Team ZRP is where it's at.
Yeah, it is. So, actually, you know what, Travis? I haven't figured this thing out. Is this I don't know if you can see it in the studio, but what case cover is this? For a Can-Am?
Yeah, it's a Can-Am X3.
This thing is sweet, man. Like, just the machine work and stuff on this thing is bitchin'. We'll have to talk about some of the stuff that you guys work on, but are you guys running a lot of this stuff on the race cars?
Pretty much everything. That's where most everything that we have is something that I want for my cars, and that's where the development, a lot of it comes from. And yeah, that's where we develop other things as well along the way but it's hard. We're a pretty small company, and it's a lot of hard work to engineer and design a lot of new products as fast as this industry's going. I mean, there's constantly new cars and platforms and everything coming out all the time.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that earlier on the show, is all that new stuff that keeps coming out. I mean, the manufacturers obviously are the ones that drive the industry, so it's hard to keep up, like what Travis is saying. But if you think about it from a progression standpoint, it's also very good to have that, because then you're consistently moving forward with whatever business it is. So not that Travis's company is following, but when it comes to manufacturers and he has to produce for new vehicles, it gives a new opportunity for you to come out with products for that vehicle and make your business grow too.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, let's take a step back here real quick. Have you always lived in Utah?
So, yep, I was born and raised in Cache Valley, right where I live now. Grew up on a dairy farm and rode snowmobiles in the winter.
Man, you must really love Utah.
It's a nice place if you like snowmobiling.
Yeah, so you did grow up snowmobiling then, huh?
Oh yeah. So my dad started taking me out when I was just a little fella. Would work all summer, and the winters is a little bit of break that we would get.
It seems like we're getting a little bit of a poor connection with your Wi-Fi connection. Do you think you could jump off Wi-Fi or maybe move a little bit?
Yeah, let me see what we can do here.
So while you move around, you've been into snowmobiling, obviously. So did you have any idea that you were going to do anything in the dirt, or you just did snowmobiles most of your life?
I raced when I was I had a S80 when I was old.
What kind of 80 was that?
Suzuki S80.
Oh, you remember those?
A DS, I think you said. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do you remember those things?
I do. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty fun. Did you guys have cool tracks up there in Utah?
I raced a track in Ogden a couple times. My uncle took me, and I raced some flat track. Was a little bit of racing that I got to do in the fun. Just never really had time for it, and started snowmobiles when I was 18. So
yeah, so the snowmobiles kind of took over.
Yes.
It's still a little bit difficult to hear you. Are you on a bad Wi-Fi connection?
Yeah, I just disconnected, and I'm just trying to find the FaceTime again. There we go. All right.
Okay, that seems a little bit better. It seems like the connection's clearing up now, so hopefully it's a little bit more solid. So, well, growing up in Utah, I can obviously see, like, the couple times that I've been there, I've been to, like, Salt Lake, Draper, Park City, like those kinds of things, and I loved it. It was beautiful up there.
Yeah, it's pretty up here. I think we get the best of both winter, summer. We get a little bit of spring, a little bit of fall, and man, we have mountains, lakes, everything. We really do. It's but
man, we got such a poor connection. Maybe we should go to a commercial break and see if we can get a better connection with Travis here. So we're going to go to a commercial break real quick, guys, and we will be right back with Travis Zollinger again. Are you still there, bud?
There's I wonder if that's messing with shit.
It looks like our connection over here is doing pretty good. The puppy?
Yeah, it's happy.
How is it now, Travis? Any better?
Well, I turned Wi-Fi back on. Let's see if that's better.
Keeps giving us a poor connection over here. Is that where you usually get the best Wi-Fi signal in the house?
Yeah. Our cable does weird shit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, man. Like it's we're catching like maybe every fifth or eighth word that you say.
Do you want me just to call in?
Yeah, we can do that. That's
Just do
probably
audio?
easier. Let me text you the call-in number. All right, so we are back with Travis. We ditched the whole FaceTime call. We are going to do a audio interview with him. So it sounds much better now, Travis. How's it going over there in Utah? Are you guys dealing with all this heat?
Yeah, it's pretty hot here right now. It's actually, there's a thunderstorm, so maybe that's what's messing with the Wi-Fi or the cable. Who knows?
Dude, we had a show here that was like got hail and all kinds of stuff. It totally took out the whole system. So I feel the technology pain, man. But thank you very much for dealing with us and giving us a call back. Appreciate it. So we were talking about growing up in Utah, man. Casey and I both grew up in Arizona, and we don't get 4 seasons.
Hot and
hotter,
almost as hot. Yeah,
that's one thing for sure from the last week was Tennessee, man. Hot, humid, muggy, really wet and green, pretty, but pretty miserable to live in.
So the only other time I've been to Tennessee around, it was the first week of August, so basically the same time of year, was for the Loretta Lynn's Amateur National. And living in Arizona, it's hot, right? Like it's like cooking hot. Like you feel like you're in an oven. But there, it's like putting yourself in an oven and then putting water all over yourself. Like it's so boiling, gnarly.
Like Houston and North Carolina, Charlotte's like that too.
So that's what Travis just experienced.
Yeah.
How was it being in the car?
In the car, in the forest, it was nice as long as you were moving. Hanging upside down on my straps, not
so
very
much.
fun.
Bummer.
But no, it was warm. I mean, I was wringing wet when I was done. I know that.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But the trail there. We were at Adventure Offroad Park, and the course is pretty challenging all the time, so it keeps you on your toes. And it was just fun to stay focused on the track, really.
We had a couple of people comment in, hi, Jessica. And then Billy Slade says, ask how many snowmobile trophies he has.
Yeah, I feel like that's opening.
I
feel like that's opening some good stories, I think.
I'm sure he's got it. I mean, he's been doing snowmobiles his whole life.
Yeah, I had a pretty good run racing snowmobiles. I have a few King of the Hills, King of the Mountain titles, and that's what you go for.
Well, we won't get too far into the snowmobile life because the show is called The Dirt Life, and we're really stoked that you're playing in the dirt now. But maybe let's just do a little bit of Cliff's Notes backstory. So our audience, including myself and Casey, aren't fully engulfed in the snowmobile world. So, how far did you go in the snowmobile stuff?
How far? We were factory sponsored. We raced hill climbs, which we race through gates uphill, time single run, and just for time usually. Sometimes, you wouldn't make the hill and it'd go for mark or whatnot, but yeah, it's pretty intense because you go full out one shot for a minute. Roughly was usually the average time.
Yeah, but it's pretty intense. Like, remember when we were talking to Ryan Sipes about doing the hill climb stuff on a dirt bike?
Yeah.
You got like high horsepower, you got really technical portions. Like, there's a lot of intensity that goes into it. So
think about the wrench time per
run. Yeah, like we were talking.
Oh my gosh, all that work and then 1 minute, and that might be it for the weekend if it doesn't go well.
So
we
were talking about that on a couple shows ago, I think, Travis. And so for the short course stuff that I did, the Lucas stuff, you get 15, 20 minutes on the track, and we would work for, I don't know, 40 to 60 hours to get prepped up for that. How much was it for the snowmobile stuff?
Very similar to that. I know a couple of years, my brother and I, after the season, we talked about how much we worked on a couple of our snowmobiles, and we only rode them I think one of them had 12 miles on it or something because it only got wrapped. Yeah.
12 miles and 1,200 hours.
That's insane.
Yes, exactly. It was, and that's when we both kind of looked at each other and laughed, I guess, and was like,
what are we doing?
Oh, well.
That's freaking nuts, man. Oh, Jeff Angel just wanted me to give a shout out. He actually said, I don't mean to interrupt our conversation, Travis, but he asked me earlier this week too. So speaking of the weather and how hot it was in Tennessee and Arizona, one of the groups here in Arizona, it's a Yamaha group, has an annual trip that's up in Flagstaff at the Cinders, and they said that they were going to go August 7th through the 9th. So if anybody in our audience wants to go to YXZAZ on Facebook, and you can join them for that trip, because that'll actually get you out of the heat. And
probably perfect up there then.
And I went to the Cinders, and it was super nice. So that actually brings me to the next question that I want to ask Travis was, like, I had a conversation with one of my buddies the other day about going up to Utah and riding. Like, how awesome is it to ride side-by-sides up there, man? It just looks so good.
Well, Sand Hollow is phenomenal. Probably my favorite place to ride. And Moab, that's in Utah as well. Our trails, we have a lot of Forest Service, and they're like really groomed roads as far as they're not, super challenging, and they kind of get loaded up a little bit with people.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, Utah, we have a few trails up here that are pretty cool. They're kind of, I don't know, maybe a little of the off the beaten path trails that are fun. I know there's some that are getting cut in too, that the guys from HCR are redoing some old buggy trails.
Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. Well, I've always wanted to come up to Utah and ride on some of those trails and stuff. So one of these days, I'm gonna have to come up there and hang out with you guys. It'd be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, we could take you on a couple fun rides for sure.
That would be sweet, man. I would love to do something like that. All right, so let's kind of get back to what we were talking about before. So you obviously have some accolades in the snowmobile industry, but like I said, it's the Dirt Life show. What was the transition? What made you want to get into the dirt more? Was it because of the summer times and because you were into dirt bikes and stuff?
A few injuries. I've honestly, I've broken my ankle a number of times, and it I really can't compete in the snowmobile hill climbing anymore. Not at the level that I would like to, and so yeah, the dirt life has given me like a second life in racing, and so I'm eating it up.
Well, you're also doing really well at it. Wait, so how gnarly is it when you do that snowmobile stuff? Like, cause I guess like if I think about it from an injury or like a dangerous standpoint, like that. What's the
track or whatever?
The track?
Aren't they like 800 pounds or something too?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're a little over 500 pounds usually.
Okay.
So you got to be
around,
like,
I think.
If you get thrown off that thing, you got to get away from that thing.
Yeah, they can grab a hold of you. It's have you ever heard of the Jackson Hole hill climb?
I've heard of it, but that was through you. But expand.
You guys should just watch some older YouTube videos or whatever on it. It's the greatest show on snow, is what they've called it in the past.
Nice.
I can imagine there's some carnage then.
Yeah, I'm sure. Horsepower and
here
you go.
Horsepower and it's kind of like a rodeo on snow, you could call it.
It sounds pretty gnarly. So how did you fuck up your ankle so many times then?
Oh, just through life, sports. I was pretty active my whole life. Played a lot of basketball, football, pretty much anything. Rode dirt bikes, on the farm, and just tore it up doing that a couple times. Basketball, when I was a senior in high school, I smoked it pretty bad, and that was the worst one, and it's never really been the same since.
Well, we hate to hear, obviously, those injuries, but we had a really funny. You want to read that comment that came in, Case?
Yeah. Speaking of working out and sports, Robert Hargis says Travis squats snowmobiles every morning before breakfast. Workout of the day.
Oh, that's
Robbie.
So,
oh yeah,
could you imagine?
Robbie would know.
No, I can picture it. Like, right, you got it on the rack and you're pushing it up.
Well, we were just talking about the dirt bike that you got, and that dude, Scott Summers, that was lifting the
right.
XR 600 above his head, so I could just picture Travis lifting a snowmobile up.
Nice.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit. So we're talking about all this snowmobile stuff, but the reason that I wanted to talk about it a little bit was because that's a lot of experience that you gained, because you did it for a numerous amount of years, and you were able to reach what we'll call, in my non-understanding terms, the highest level of the snowmobile industry. And that teaches you a lot. It gives you a really good backbone and an understanding for specific motorsports industry, right? So you understand how to manufacture components better for vehicles. You understand all of these different things. Casey and I talk about what RC Cars has taught him, working on full-size vehicles has taught him, and all of it can correlate into making things better for any type of racing application. And you were able to do that really, really well with the snowmobile stuff, and now switching into side-by-sides as well. So kudos to you for doing that.
Oh, thank you very much. I would say I owe a lot of it to Ultra 4 and the 4400 class, for sure. Those guys, the biggest thing that I respect about Ultra 4 is all the big dogs, they build their own cars, and that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
I think that's the coolest. So that's the thing that really draws me to that group, and they're pretty cool guys. The Campbells, Lauren Healy, the guy that's right here, Paul Herschel. Paul Herschel builds some of the most beautiful vehicles on the planet. And, yeah.
So, like, I can just hear it in his voice. Like, he takes a lot of inspiration in the stuff that he does from that. That's pretty cool, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, Jeff Angel just commented in and said, crazy that snowmobiles have, 300 horsepower plus. Yeah, and side-by-sides only have a couple hundred. It is kind of crazy, but you got to remember, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people in side-by-sides, if they had that much power, they'd have some issues.
Yeah, sure seems that way.
Well, we have some guys here in Utah that put some serious horsepower down. The boys that work on my cars, K&T, they put 500 and 600 down.
Holy crap!
Out of the side-by-sides.
Wheelies? Imagine that.
Wheelies for days.
I could. Yeah, that's a serious side-by-side wheelie right there. Holy cow!
Yeah. Yep.
What are they doing that in CVT cars or in transmission cars?
They do it in both, and they pretty much break transmissions. Is what they do.
I'll bet.
Dude, that's crazy. Brian Hawkins said, tell Meg I said hello. I don't know who that is, though. Oh, tell Jeff I said hello. And Jeff also said that he wants to do wheelies in his YXZ, so maybe he should send his stuff to K&T then, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are the guys.
All right. So, man, I keep getting sidetracked with all these cool comments coming in. So, going from, you still probably get out and do some play stuff in snowmobiles, but you really got attracted to the side-by-side stuff. When did that come about?
2016. So 2016, I bought my first four-seat RZR. That was I guess, my first adult dirt toy. And got it to start reverse engineering parts for it. Was the main reason for getting it. And then I decided I needed to go racing to actually test the parts. So
that's pretty cool.
So I built a 2016 two-seat turbo RZR. It took me about a little over a year to build it, and I raced it one time.
That's pretty crazy, though. But I like the fact that he's tedious about what he's building, right? And he's making sure that it all is. So one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, but like the dirt life is all about just getting to know people and understanding who they are. You know, a lot of people might see Travis at the track and be like, oh, yeah, he makes A-arms or whatever they notice, or radius rods or something. But there's a lot more to it. And, I mean, we talked about the snowmobile stuff, his expertise. And it sounds like we're going to dive into it a little bit more, because building that first Razor was probably a real launching platform into what he does with Zollinger Racing Products now. But I'd like to get a little bit more backstory, if that's okay, Travis. And your education, you're a machinist or a mechanical engineer?
I'm a machinist. I barely made it out of high school. So I don't really have any other formal education other than that. And I went to work right out of high school. I worked for a year for my dad, and then I went to work for an airbag company. And about a year into working there, I got hired into their machine shop and basically started learning the craft of being a machinist. And basically that's, I think, being a problem solver.
Yeah,
and
sometimes
so,
the most success stories come just the way you said it.
Absolutely.
Yep, on the job.
Like making a light bulb.
And fixing problems. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
We had Boone Freeman said, what was your first CNC machine that you bought? Oh, you brought or bought? Bought.
Yeah, my first CNC machine. So it was a package deal. It was an Akuma Cadet mill and an Akuma Cadet lathe. And both, well, the mill is just strictly 3-axis. It's a 1994.
Bro, it's a 96.
Yeah, no, the machine's a 94.
Yeah.
But so it was they were both pretty old. They were super beat up when I got them. I had to do a lot of repair work on both of them, and had to fix them. I fixed a lot of it myself, which has taught me a lot as well.
Yeah, that goes to show that's exactly what I'm sure that was probably pretty much one of the questions that he was trying to get at, was understanding that. What was the first product that you sold that was really successful? Let's actually hold on to that question for a little bit here. So understanding that, like, that really gives me much more respect for the way that he is now, because it wasn't like he just came out of school and all of a sudden had this like cush job and went into machining and stuff like that. It was like
bought the flagship machines. He's like, no, give me the 25-year-old ones. Let's give it a shot.
So you know how yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, they are definitely. I actually still have both of them.
Nice.
And there's a good chance they're in better shape now than when I bought them.
That's good.
And I've had them for almost 19 years.
I feel like you need to work those into the logo somehow. Like off in the backdrop, there's a picture of these old standing machines. I don't know. I can just see it.
Well, what about maybe not working them into the logo, but working them into the process for every new hire has to go through and start working on those things?
Definitely. Cool.
Well, yeah, that should be the progression. Is we should make them start on those machines, and they can advance up through the newer machines.
Yeah. So if they choke on those machines, they just get clipped right away.
Yep. Hashtag legacy. You failed. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
We actually sort of do that, but I think it's the saw that you start out with at my shop. The saw and the broom.
There you go.
Perfect. Then you get upgraded to the 1994 machines.
Yep. That's the next upgrade.
Did we get any more comments in, Casey? So
Tyler Crandell says that his old boss had a Rhino with an R1 engine. That thing ripped wheelies. Speaking of wheelies, holy
well, they still
moly.
have that class in the regional series. It's called SR1.
That is insane.
Well, it's not a Rhino, but yeah, those things are nuts, man. I don't know how people handle those things because they're 2-wheel drive too. They don't put 4-wheel drive. They're just 2-wheel drive. So, What was the reason that you wanted to get into the side-by-sides, though? Because I know that growing up, did you just see people riding them around?
They were getting pretty popular up here. I would say, honestly, have you heard of a company by the name of Boondocker?
Yeah. So
they're from Idaho Falls.
They do performance stuff, though, right?
Yeah. They do performance turbos, a lot of snowmobile stuff, and they do a lot of side-by-side stuff. But the owner, Rocky Sr., he told me, he's like, you need to get one of these. And so I guess I would say I took his advice.
That's pretty cool, though. And then, excuse me, the progression, I guess, went up from there. So you have these, we're going to call them more advanced machines now. They're not 1994. And you start obviously building the business, and you have some success with it. Maybe you can walk us through that, and then we'll get into how you started building side-by-side products and snowmobile products.
Yeah, for sure. So I started my machine shop in about 18 and a half years ago. And I actually started that because I got fired from the job where I was at.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Perfect.
That is a very colorful story, and it's a good one. And I'm sure my side, leans towards my way quite a bit. But
that's okay. We'd like to hear it.
That company was actually my biggest customer my first 2 years that I was in business, and we still from time to time do work for them. So
how cool is that?
I have a lot of friends out there, and there are a lot of good people out there. So
that is actually really, really cool. So obviously you said that you were fired from your job, but when you started doing this, we'll call it a new venture. The new venture, was it started out small? Like you were just making little products manually?
Oh, it was I was job shopping. Just taking in any work that I could get. I kind of had this dream of having a shop and building parts and whatnot, but I guess I wasn't experienced enough yet to do it. And so I did that for, I think, 14 years. And then that's when I started Zollinger Racing Products.
That's pretty cool, though. That's a good amount of time, though, to learn the process and get your understanding of how the business works.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a startup, some guy that's like, hey, I'm going to race at UTVs this week. And, oh, by the way, I'm going to fumble around with trying to build some parts. He already had a good base to be able to do that.
You know what's funny, though? There's a bunch of people that have done that. Like, there's a bunch of companies that have come and gone super quick just because of that same process and mentality.
Right. The frying pan's hot.
Yeah.
Or whatever they say.
Exactly.
Flash in the pan or whatever.
So that means that you put in the work, and you obviously enjoyed it. So what were some of the first things that you were producing actually, a better question. What are some of the favorite things that you produced during that time when you were job hopping that made you think, wow, I could make my own stuff?
Oh, probably some of the roller coaster parts that we do, honestly.
Okay, this sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, have you guys ridden any of the rides up on top of the Stratosphere?
I haven't ridden them. My father's ridden them, and he said they scared the shit out of him.
Well, let's just say that a lot of people's lives are hanging from the parts that we made, and
that's cool.
That's a pretty good feeling. So
how rad is that,
either
dude?
A good feeling or a bad feeling.
I think that's super cool. So, can you tell us some of the parts? Were they just like track parts or fasteners?
Pretty much all of the restraints for two of the rides that are up there, we built every part too.
That's super cool.
And they're pretty cool. They're like, some of the tubes are titanium. There's a lot of chromoly in those rides. So they're just super fun. Roller coasters are cool.
Were those opportunities that came out of you looking, or because you already had reputation, or how did those come about? I love these kind of stories because you're focusing on something else, and then someone else goes, "Hey, that's a good fit. You could make it for us."
Yeah, when I started my business, we were out in a small industrial park, and these guys were our neighbor.
Oh, perfect.
And I think one afternoon how we got started with them was they had some parts that they had to have done super fast. They ran down to our shop. We took care of them, and we still, I mean, that was 18 years ago.
That's
we
awesome.
Still make parts for them.
That's awesome. No job is too small back in those days, and
No.
and obviously you put the detail into those just like you would have anything else, and you turn some heads. That's pretty cool.
I think that has a lot to like business in general, right? Like if you want to just help, like that means that the relationship's going to be better. Like like I said at the beginning of the show, Travis has been a supporter of the Dirt Life show since day one. Justin from Shock Therapy has also been one, and Justin helped me with my racing program by calling him one day saying, "Dude, I'm in duress. Like I'm going to be screwed unless you help me to go to this next race." And Justin was like, "Yep, we'll take care of it." And that's exactly what Travis is doing with these people. I'm sure you have a million stories like that too, where people come to you for last minute needs and necessities.
Oh yeah. We've done that many times over. We bail people out when we can, and that's just a good. I don't know. In any relationship, it has to be win-win. If it's not win-win, then somebody's going to get tired of playing, and so
agreed.
Yeah, Casey always says that he's a big proponent of that term or that
mantra.
Mantra as well. So, all right. So you start, making all these cool products and having some fun with it, and then once you get the side by side, is it all of a sudden like light bulbs just going off all over the place? Oh, I could build this. I could build that.
Yes, a lot of that, and also the side by sides are so cool. They're getting very fast. Like they have a lot of power. They're just such a cool machine, and I feel like I feel our company has been a part of helping move side by sides forward in building better products for him and making them last longer on the racetrack. And that just spills over to the weekend warrior that wants to go beat on his car hard.
Yeah,
wants to go play hard.
I'm sure that's the case. And would you say so? You were, if you don't mind, let me take this little track for a second. So 15 years or so, you're doing your machining business. Everything's going good.
Yep.
Are you getting kind of jaded by the industry, and then you're like, hey, I'm just throwing this out there because I've been in my trade for a long time. You kind of get in that place sometimes where you're just like, okay, I'm doing it the best I can. We're good. We got a good reputation, but I'm just kind of, it is what it is. And then all of a sudden you get the side-by-side stuff, and now it's like a whole new world unlocks. Did some of that kind of happen, or was it just the next step of, how it went down for you?
No, it definitely, it was driven by friends asking me to build stuff for them. And it's constantly a new world that's being unlocked for me. That's exactly what it feels like.
Yep, that's awesome. So the fire just keeps going. I would bet.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is just the racetrack. I mean, that's where all the development comes from. We beat on those things pretty hard when we go out and race, and
that's an understatement.
Yes, it is. That's for sure.
Especially doing the Ultra Force stuff. Jeff Angel just commented in, what about the pics of the Ducati side by side? None of us, I don't think, have seen those. So, sounds like we got something to research. Well, what was the first product that you actually made for a side by side?
First product, most likely the hub. We made the hub for a Polaris Razor, and so we made a billet lightweight hub, plus we made one that was also 1-inch and 2-inch offset.
Oh, that's cool.
All one piece, yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to use the spacers. That's way better.
Yeah, I was thinking rotating mass, keeping it light, keeping it strong.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, and that was probably something that you were like thinking, like, okay, how did I get my snowmobile to go faster up the hill? Then I can rotating mass. Then you say, okay, well, how can I transfer that into side by sides?
Well, exactly, and side by sides. The one thing that I would say that maybe I have a little more of an advantage in, or maybe a lot more time, is I've been playing with CVTs ever since I was little, and that was our lifeblood on snowmobiles, like clutching.
Yeah.
That was like all we would ever work on. And man, the clutches that the side by sides have now, those things are super tough. It's unbelievable what the side by sides are putting the CVTs through. And just with the dirt they have to ingest, the sand, just everything. They're in such a miserable environment for what they're doing, and the factories have done a really, really good job of building some awesome toys that we get to go play with.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that, and plus the I think it's just a Photoshop picture of the Ducati Jeff. Sorry, we're not going to get into that one tonight. Yeah, so I think that it's pretty cool because, like what Travis is just saying, like a snowmobile, like heat is the worst enemy for a CVT, right? And snowmobiles aren't in heat very much. I mean, obviously the systems get hot, but they're in a cooler environment, So like what he's saying about the CVTs is so true.
Yeah, and not all the dirt and dust and garbage like it would be in snow, right? It's just going to be water.
Yeah, exactly. So it's way different story. So that's actually probably a really good point to bring up, is he's already forward thinking, right?
Yeah.
So he's already delivering some of that stuff. Well, maybe now's a good time to ask what Boone Freeman was asking, is what is the first product that you sold that was really successful?
First product that was really successful, snowmobile part. It was a clutch cover that cut the rotating mass on the primary clutch.
So there you go. Rotating mass. It's a performance part and it's a cool looking part, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. Yep.
That's pretty sweet, man. And did some of those things where when you came out with them where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like game changing for me. Now I got to have everybody else use it?
Yeah, I just started playing around with things on my snowmobile, and I would start doing things that like other people weren't doing, hadn't done before, and the things that made sense to me. And I was kind of lucky in there was the X Games were pretty big right then, and snowmobiling got into that. And I think there was only one or two racers that year that didn't have our clutch cover on.
That's pretty cool.
So it made that big of a difference.
Yeah. Super cool.
Some of the technical things that I like to get into, because I'm really like a fan of understanding the different racing organizations and what they allow and stuff. So Travis, how did you make sure that you weren't pushing past the legal limits in some of these organizations? Were you able to understand what was needed and what you were able to do and focus on just that?
Yeah, I mean, that's always, something that you're having to deal with when you're building parts is, are they legal? Will they be legal? And I mean, basically you got to dive into the rule book sometimes and decide whether or not you can do stuff. I mean, cool thing that happened last year with snowmobile racing is they actually allowed brake disc modification that we've done because it's a safety enhancement.
That's
on the
pretty
vehicle.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what was that? Did you guys just come out with the whole system for it?
No, we actually modify the OEM brake. We lighten it up. We cut a bunch of metal out of it, and it lets the brake disc dissipate the heat a bunch better than the stock configuration. And oh man, I think it's like a whole half a pound or maybe a little bit more lighter as well.
It's a bunch.
The coolest part about it for me as a rider, racer, is when you're grabbing the brake, it's good to have a lot of feel on the brake.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock brake is very like grabby when it heats up, and you lose a lot of control. And with our mod, like, you actually gain a bunch of brake control, and that's really nice as a racer to get, I think.
So I also know that the Can-Am X3s are notorious for having shitty brakes. Have you thought about stuff like for them too? Or are you already making stuff for them?
Yeah, we are very close to having our brake system completely done.
Ooh,
So,
I can't wait for that. I already know a bunch of racers that'll be interested in that bad boy.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. We might be running it in Vegas to Reno. We haven't decided yet. If we can get it together and get some good testing time on it, then we'll do that.
That'd be super cool.
So
that's exactly what we're talking about, though, is transitioning from it's not even just an industry, right? It's just transitioning smart knowledge from one section to another, right?
Right, and stuff that people want and they need. You're not just looking at every possible part you can take off and make it blingy, right? You're actually doing stuff that's like, no, let's make it so it's going to make things better. And even just for the weekend warrior, it's going to be a better driving experience.
Yeah, exactly. And how many times did you teach me something that I could relate from whatever you were doing into side by side? So that's super cool that he was able to do that. So you manufacture tons and tons of stuff, and I want to go through this quickly so that we can get into some of the racing stuff because that's what I'm excited about talking about. But what are some of the things that you guys manufacture now that you sell to the general public that are pretty good sellers?
Oh, the radius rod plates and a lot of the upgrades for the Can-Am. We do a lot of Can-Am parts. That has really slowed down our development because we've been so busy trying to keep up with orders. That's just been unbelievable how many Can-Am parts we sell. We sell a lot.
So I think there's two things to say about that. First of all, God, give Travis a break, man. Let him develop some new stuff, right? But wait, don't stop ordering parts.
No.
Keep ordering as much parts as possible.
I want my parts.
Yeah.
That's super cool, though.
Yeah,
and
it is.
That goes to show not only that Travis is doing a good job when he's developing all these parts, but it goes to show that whole thing about helping people and making sure that they get their products and stuff like that he's doing a really good job with customer service, too.
Absolutely.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we work hard on that. That's a very important part of what we try to do. So.
Yeah, and you probably like getting a lot of the feedback too, right? Because you like understanding what the customers are doing with it, how they feel about the products that you're doing, and obviously when you get feedback like from them, let's just say I was a customer and I gave you feedback, I would expect that you're going to make a better product for your race team too.
Yeah, absolutely. Love feedback. Positive, negative, any kind. I mean, yeah, you don't want to hear negative feedback, but I mean, that's what you're going to grow from the most, for sure.
Exactly.
Yep.
So you're making all these cool products and you're having a good time doing it. You're obviously making sure that you're keeping all your employees happy and having day-to-day stuff happen, which is, first of all, awesome. And I've already thought about it a million times, so I want to come up there and tour the facility and hang out with you guys. But I also like the racing stuff that you guys do. You guys put the cars through the test. You guys do not just Best in the Desert. Like you said, you do Ultra 4. You've done all kinds of different racing. So what's been the catalyst behind that? You just wanted to test products, or you wanted to get out there and have some fun?
Both, for sure. I wanted to go and push the cars in the toughest, worst places possible. Honestly, that's truly what I wanted to do.
And that's because you had the passion to do that, or you wanted to go test products?
I think they've fed off of one another. I wanted to go test products, and I mean, I ended up going to a Reno Ultra 4 Nationals, and I raced my car in the rocks, and I think I made the heat race, and both of my trailing arms were destroyed completely.
Really?
And yeah, the cool thing about Ultra 4 is there there was a welding company there. I'm sure ESOB, I think that's how you say it. Welders was there, and they had 2 fabricators that were basically there to help racers repair cars to get them back on the track. And we cut up some metal and braced my trailing arms back up in the pits. And then I went out and raced finals on it. So it was very, very fun to do that.
Yeah, that is super cool. And probably gives you more ideas coming back to the shop.
Yeah.
Oh, instantly. Yes.
So what are some of the favorite pieces that you've made? Because I know that some of the stuff that I've seen, some of the spindles and some of the knuckles and things that you did are so, they're like really literally pieces of art, man.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I'll make sure and let the guys in the shop know. They take a lot of pride in the stuff that they build.
They look fantastic, man. I love those things. What are some of the favorite pieces that you've made? I mean, like, look at this case. It's dirty, but it's like insane cool.
You can tell the detail because you don't need all those pockets and all those cool little radiuses and stuff. But like, it's pride in the in the product. You can tell.
Yeah, it's bitching.
You know, that piece is definitely one that the alternator cover for the Can-Am. There's a lot of reverse engineering to go into that one, and man, the dog bones. I think the dog bones would be pretty cool. We have a pretty unique upper A-arm that not a whole lot of people really know about. I've been running it on my race car for, a year and a half now, and it's completely adjustable on the car. It's got some really unique stuff to it, and there will most likely be some bigger pieces of that coming out in the future.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so pay attention to the Zollinger website or ZollingerRacingProducts.com and the stuff that Travis got going on. Yeah, we can get that out of the way right now too. Is if you want to follow those guys on social media, you can follow at Zollinger Racing Products. We tagged them on our social media, so if you want to go to the Dirt Life show, you can check it out there. But it's at Zollinger Racing Products, and they have a bunch of fun stuff on there. They post a lot of racing stuff too. So, yeah, Jeff Angel just commented and said the X3s are super popular and obviously ride great. Well, they ride even better when you can get some of the stuff that Travis has on there. The steering rack is a huge help too, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's actually the shock therapy steering rack, which I do run on all of my cars, and it's awesome. To help people understand why it's so cool, it knocks the amount of feedback that you get back through the steering down by about 50%.
That's and
rad. I think, yeah, guys that have X3s, the X3 is really bad for pushing back through the steering wheel. And well, I'm not affiliated with Can-Am or anything in any way, but I know a lot of people have had injured hands.
Yeah, well, anybody, especially a racer that gets feedback through the steering wheel, hates it. Like, can't stand it. So anything you can do to get that away. So that's cool that the shock therapy guys have such a great product. And I'm glad that you guys are making products that, help out with that too on the other end, like the spindles and the knuckles and stuff like that too. And you run them all on every single race car that you have?
The shock therapy steering rack?
No, mostly.
Or my parts.
Both of them?
Yeah, all the above.
So that's a good testament to how awesome that stuff is for the racing portions of it. So getting back into the racing stuff, I wanted to kind of get a little bit of a backstory. When I knew that you won the Mint 400, I was obviously stoked for you. But then it got me thinking. I was like, man, I wonder where it started for Travis. So maybe you can tell us where it started for you.
Where what started?
The side-by-side racing?
The side-by-side racing? Oh, shit. In Glen Helen at a works race in the pro class.
Dang, that's pretty gnarly.
It started.
That's like talking about getting thrown in the fire.
Did somebody just toss you the keys or what?
Yeah.
I want to go fast.
I think I just wanted some punishment or something. I don't know. But those works guys, works girls, all of them Those guys are awesome. Super, super talented racers. I'm so impressed with what they do, and I don't like making my car full that much. So,
well, you decided to go best in the desert. That's not much different.
Yeah, best in the desert, man. Those guys, the T class, it's unbelievable how fast they are. Phil, Dustin Jones, Brandon Sims, Guthrie. I mean, the list goes on, and they're all.
Let's not forget about
fast.
Justin Smith. He did pretty good at the Mint too.
Justin Smith is super fast. He's he passed me like I was sitting still one time at the Parker 250 earlier this year.
That's one of the things that I would always like to talk about with everybody too. Is like, well, first of all, like you said, they're all fantastic drivers, and they all have such a great racing prowess. And what do you say Cooper Webb has? Racing, not technique, IQ, yeah, right, racing IQ. You have to have that with the desert racing stuff
racecraft,
too. Yeah, racecraft. There you go. That's the one I was looking for. But anyways, you also have to have, like, it's just balls to the wall. Like most of the dudes that win now, it's wide open and don't break.
Right.
Like, so the faster you can go and not break, you'll win.
Right. And equally important.
That's desert racing rolled into a nutshell. Is as fast as you can go without breaking.
Exactly. So when you were at the Mint 400 this last year, like, were you guys balls to the wall, or did you guys keep it, like, take it back a notch?
We pushed pretty hard in that race, I would say. So that race being 4 laps, I was able to learn the course a little bit, which was fun. I studied a lot. I studied a lot of videos before. And I asked, I remember I had a good conversation with Elias Hanna. He's a Monster Energy athlete and off-road racer from Mexico.
So he was able to give you a lot of info?
He gave me a lot of good advice before the race.
That's pretty cool then, because that stuff helps so much. I mean, like, just think about how many times that you held my hand, like with RC car racing or even dirt bike racing when we grew up, like that little bit of an edge that you can get mentally is such a huge, like, advantage.
Sometimes too, it's just in the confidence, even if they're full of crap. Sometimes it's just the confidence that, like, turns the fear switch off, or not the fear switch, but the doubt switch off.
So so Elias is going, Travis, you're the best driver on the planet.
No,
Go
sometimes
for it.
It's more like, no, it's no problem. You just set that thing 4th gear wide open. They don't even know, right?
Yeah,
and you're like, oh yeah, that's all I got to do.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how fast can you go down that straightaway? 110.
Yeah. Just look for that 15th tree.
Yep.
And then you got to lift, punch it, and you got it. No, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is, and they're just being the motivator, like a motocross or supercross mechanic is to its rider.
Yeah, that's
Same
true,
kind of
right?
thing. Yep.
Yeah, cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
So how was it racing your first few races then before? Because everybody has their growing pains and learning curve, right?
Yeah, the first 2 races were pretty rough, and I had a lot of doubt. I didn't, until I know exactly when it happened, and it was when I think I was the 2nd fastest qualifier down at an Ultra 4 race in Prairie City, and that's when
like a confidence builder for you.
I started building more confidence in myself in racing in the dirt.
So what was how many races was that in to your side-by-side career?
To my side-by-side career, 5 or 6 races in.
So that's a pretty short amount of time.
Yeah, it is.
So that leads back to the whole snowmobile thing, right?
Right.
So he's got the experience, and then he just needs that little bit of an edge, and then he starts getting better.
Yep, exactly. Get your feet wet and then get comfortable.
Yeah, now I wish I could catch up and learn how to tune my car and set my car up right.
I guess that's always something that people fight, though, because like no matter what, even like short course racing isn't as gnarly as desert. Like, you go around short course tracks and stuff, right? But every time we went on track, we were always playing catch up, always, because we wanted a tenth of a second here or there, whatever it was. And in the desert stuff, it's even gnarlier. So you always are going to play catch up, setting your car up. So, or the guy that won always had a better setup than you, right?
Yeah, of course. Right. Do you find
absolutely.
Do you find sometimes, Travis, that you're making? I can make this parallel to the RC stuff. Sometimes when you don't have the options that you're making, you don't tune yourself out. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a negative thing. What it does is it opens up Pandora's box for, if you're a really good chassis setup guy, you can get the setup perfect. At the same time, if you're not, you have so many options that you can get yourself out of the box, which is why the testing is so important. Do you find that sometimes?
Oh, and it gives you like a wider mindset too.
Yeah,
right?
because like I'm saying, okay, so you've got stock. Just pick something, shock, angle, whatever. You don't change it. You just run it.
Yeah.
Now you have the option to start changing these things to make them better. But if you go the wrong way, you kind of tune yourself out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Again, more
like,
testament to testing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like if you made a big spring change or something, not knowing what you're doing.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Totally.
And upset the car. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. That's the thing, is trying to learn all the different pieces of off-road racing. Maybe that's probably one of the things that is really driving me too, is just there's so many volumes to learn.
Right.
Well, you just talked about opening up Pandora's box. I'm probably like, it probably does feel like that for Travis now.
Yeah. And you know what we did when we were trying to figure out, or I did for sure, learning from the guys that knew what they were doing, is sometimes you just go to the extremes, even though it's not going to work. So you know what it does.
Or know what you don't want.
Exactly. So sometimes sometimes those testing days or whatever are actually to show you to do or not to do. And then it's such a stark difference that now it's like embedded in your brain where you're like, if I'm at a rough whatever track, I'll never do this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yes.
That actually brings up
I have been there.
That brings up a good point, though. So how many of those days do you have, Travis? Because like when we were doing the short course stuff, I remember going out and doing testing days and coming home at the end of the day going, dude, I want to kick my own ass because that day sucked so bad. I didn't learn anything, but Casey's got a good point. You bring up like a whole bunch of bad stuff you're never going to do.
Exactly.
So how many days do you guys go out testing and have those, failure days, I guess you could call them?
You guys are going to think that I'm full of it. We don't test.
What do you mean?
I haven't. So normally my tests are, we go run the car on the dyno down at K&T. And we're most likely going to make that a big part of our prep before most big races.
Chassis dyno or engine dyno or both? Or is there such a thing?
Just a chassis dyno.
Okay.
Quick. We just spin the rear tires.
Gotcha.
And other than that, I run it up and down the parking lot in front of the shop.
Nice.
And yeah, that's all that we've had time to do. So I would probably do a lot better if we could get out and test more. I've tried to, this stupid thing that's going on. We haven't even talked about it, but
good.
Yeah, exactly.
We hate it.
But that's kind of bit in, and then man, I'm just really, really busy at work all the time.
So most of the testing then just comes from the races.
At the races, yeah, I try to. So Walker Evans has been fabulous to work with. I usually try to send them an email or talk to them about the changes that I want to make to our shocks, and that's really about it that we do. I usually send them in after a long race, have them rebuilt, and just serviced.
Well, that
And
also probably
they-
says a lot about your personal team, though, and the guys that you have on your team, whether they're shop guys or friends or whoever it is, that everybody puts in the collective effort. Because I guarantee that when he says he doesn't do testing, he's not being fully open with us, because every time he puts the car in the dirt, it's a test, right? So
Yeah,
all of the info that the team is giving back to him has got to be phenomenal.
Yeah, true. Yep, good point.
Yeah, we work hard, and man, Riley, my co-driver, he's a huge part of our team. He's prepped every car for me for the past couple of years, and he's done a beautiful job. And that's the key, though, is it's the prep. The prep is key. It's not what you do at the racetrack. I mean, you can have a phenomenal team and make a lot of magic happen at the racetrack, fixing things and changing motors and this and that. And that's awesome. Mm-hmm. And those are things that just, I mean, it's a beautiful thing when it happens, because it takes so much teamwork and effort. And that's what's so cool about, I think, off-road racing.
I think his prep, though, is a little bit different than most people. So when he's talking about prep, he's talking about being ready for the race, right?
Right.
So his ready for the race is with a different tool set, and we'll call his tools the shop, right? So he can say, okay, this is what did good at this race, or this is what needs to be switched up for the next race. And each individual time that the car hits the dirt, it's another step forward, right? In the products that he develops and in his race program.
Right.
So when I talk about your team and you talk about the co-driver and stuff, it's a collective effort. It's you, it's the co-driver, it's the whole team, it's the shop guys, and there's not just prep for the next race. It's like, what kind of notes did we have from all of the stuff that happened, positive or negative, from the race, and how can we push forward for the next race and in the shop?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at the evolution of the Can-Am that we ran at Vegas to Reno last year versus the car that we're going to bring this year to Vegas to Reno. And the car that we're going to bring this year, we're going to have a good shot at winning that. So
that's going to be pretty cool. Not to get sidetracked, but Jody Workman just commented in, and she said, better luck next time. I don't know if you mean that you didn't win, Jody, but you did win. So pay attention to the live feed. I don't know if you can rewind it or watch it after this, but send us a message, because you did win a $500 gift certificate. So congratulations, Jody. Mm-hmm. So going along that same theme, 2016 was when you started. And how much progress have you seen, not just in the side-by-sides, but your racing program and your prowess in these last couple of years? Because you're obviously starting to lead the pack.
Well, thank you. Shoot. In side-by-sides, like how they've evolved in the past couple of years?
I would say more along the lines of that you've personally experienced, like obviously the side-by-sides have evolved since 2016, but your racing program, the things you do with them, where you go with them, you didn't enter a KOH your first year, did you?
Yeah, that was my second Ultra 4 race. Yeah. and I did not do very good. I think I broke 5 axles during the race.
Oh, man.
So you obviously put it through the ringer, but you'd learn so much from that. Like I keep talking about it because it seems like you don't say it directly, but it's a really common thing in the things that you do.
He was on the way home trying to figure out the Excalibur.
Exactly.
Which is the unbreakable axle.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. Maybe that's a good thing that we live so far away from all the racing. I get a lot of time to sit in the truck and think about what I broke on the way home.
Perfect.
Just like yesterday and last night.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and we used to do that too. I've said this many, many times. Like, the drive home is the best ride home or the worst ride home, because you're always making notes on what you can do better for the next race.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? The next race.
Yep.
There's always the next race.
Yeah.
You have a chance to redeem yourself.
100%.
Right. I think that's what keeps us dirt life types growing up that way, like motivated in life, and anything that we do business wise or personal life that doesn't necessarily be racing. It's just like that, because it's like a reset. Like, how can I do better next time? Because I'll do the next one better.
But you do that. You said that you do that, and you take that in your day job or
that's what I mean.
Your whole life.
You put that into. It just so happens that what Travis is doing is in the industry, which is awesome. But I would bet,
not all of it is in the industry. Roller coasters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but if he didn't do that at all, he'd still be doing it over here building whatever it is, airplane parts or whatever. He'd still be trying to build the best airplane part.
How can I scare George's dad on the roller coaster more at the top of the stratosphere?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's, it's interesting that you say that. You always want to build something better.
Right.
And you always want to get better every day. And that's, racing brings that out in you, the competitive nature. And
no doubt,
it's a good thing to, even use that in everyday life to
absolutely
to always try to be better.
Sometimes it's a curse, but
I got a really good question then. Is there that much progression in roller coasters? Like, can you make really the next gnarlier roller coaster?
I kind of think there is.
Really?
I think there is.
And I saw something the other day that was like some giant robot arm that had a lady strapped to the end of it.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
No way.
And it was a lady too. She's making all of us guys look like crest. She's like, "Oh,
Did you see it? It was insane. It was
I didn't see it.
When I remember being a little kid, they had this. I always wanted it. You got it from Radio Shack. It was the stupidest thing, but it was the robot arm. Do you remember that? It was
like a picker arm. Or
it was
something?
like gray, had orange freaking thing on it, and you could program it.
I don't remember that at all.
And it did this thing. It looked like that, and she was just strapped to it, like going in all these different freaking.
How does that
directions.
not shake the shit out of you and kill you?
I'm not sure.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, is that the same one you're talking about, Trav? Jeff just said the puke factor.
Yeah, totally. Maybe that's what it's called. I wonder.
It looks horrible.
I would never want to do that, especially with all the broken bones that we have nowadays, man.
I'm going to find that arm I'm talking about and post it.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Or send me a link.
All I could see happening is the program fouling up in the machine and it just smashing you into the ground.
Oh, totally.
That would be crazy. Yeah, I'd rather just do the roller coasters and see what Travis's next thing he's going to make. Or have Travis stick to doing the side-by-side stuff, I guess, right? Well, so what's some of the stuff that you have going on now, Travis, with the side-by-side stuff that people might want to know about?
Oh, what are we doing now? Well, the biggest thing I could probably talk about is our brakes. We're gonna have a lot of braking power coming from ZRP in the near future.
That's actually such a good thing, though. Because all the power that's coming from these motors and the side-by-sides nowadays, the brakes have, I think, personally have been lacking. So
got to get them wound up.
Yeah, exactly.
The big tires too are a major factor.
Good point.
Yeah, so all those guys running 33s, 35s at KOH on their side-by-sides, man.
That is crazy to me.
Especially in a CVT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll be able to drive harder and deeper into each corner. It'll be great.
It'll be pretty cool, man. And especially even the short course guys, I would have loved to have a little bit better brakes, man.
Oh yeah,
I was always trying to figure out a way to do that, but the Lucas rules, you got to keep it all stock. So, yeah, Robert Hargis just commented in that robo arm is the best way to practice for whoops. That's pretty hilarious, man. Well, I think the brakes will be super cool to see. Maybe another question is, what kind of stuff does Zollinger Racing, just you as your team, have planned for the 2020 season since racing is kind of getting back going?
2020 going forward, we have Vegas to Reno, and then we are going to, I know we're doing UTV World Championship.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know. I think that's opening up this Friday.
Yeah, I saw something. I got an email on that. The registration was opening up. And I was thinking about actually going out there again, too. Craig Scanlon offered up a RS1 for me to drive, so I might take him up on that offer.
Nice.
So.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
You should definitely do that.
I think it'd be cool. Maybe we could get some Zollinger. Do I know a guy? Maybe I could get some Zollinger products on that.
Yeah,
RS1.
we could probably help make that happen. I know Craig's got a little bit of ZRP on his car, and we like to help the Polaris guys go faster as well.
So yeah, maybe we'll start talking about that. But for you, you're going to do the UTV World Championship, Vegas to Reno. Personally, like I've always thought it would be cool to do Vegas to Reno. It just seems like such a cool race. Have you seen some of it?
Yeah, but like it has so much history too. Way back in the day, it got shut down because of all the turtles or whatever. Remember that? And then they were kind of resurrected it by doing it. What would you call it? Bootleg or cowboy style, outlaw style, and so it's got like just the event itself has so much history to it, you know?
Yeah, it really does. And all the different terrain that you go through. Like it just looks like a badass race.
Totally does.
How fun is it when you guys are doing it?
How fun is it? That was probably my funnest race last year.
Really?
Oh yeah. It was grueling, and it taught me some very valuable lessons, and it took its time doing it. But yeah, no, it was that's a fun race. It's the desert as the sun's going down is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
Getting to, race a car through the desert from Vegas to Reno, that was pretty fun. It was my first time ever going from Vegas to Reno. So
I think some of the most beautiful terrain is some of the most beautiful terrain is up north, like right when you're getting into Reno area, like Sparks area, like those types of
high desert kind of like way up there. Or no, you're starting to get to like pines almost, aren't you?
Yeah, it's almost mountainous.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, did you like those areas?
Oh, that's what is so pretty is you run up mountains, down mountains, all over through the desert. And yeah, it was gnarly seeing like trophy trucks hanging in trees on some of those downhills and whatnot.
So what did you think about the wildlife and stuff though too? Because there's real wild horses out there and stuff. It's cool, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was the first time that I had seen a burro.
Really?
And yeah, first time ever. I was like, holy crap.
It's pretty
and then
neat,
there
though.
There were some cows very close to the racetrack that did not look fun to get tangled up with.
The co-driver helping you out on those too?
They were mad at you?
Co-driver was actually, he could not see very good at that point in time because he had his sunglasses on and he was holding mine in his hand, and he couldn't see very good because the sun had just barely gone down.
So you're having to focus on cows and the racetrack?
Oh yeah, they were off to the side. They weren't a problem.
That's cool though, man. I love hearing those stories because like those races are so intense, but there's like so much cool stuff that you see, right?
Throw that out too.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you guys are going to do good this year, man. Your program stepped up to a whole new level this year, and you guys are really building some awesome products to throw on the cars to make them last longer. It's just cool to see the progression.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's we work pretty hard at it, so it feels good to be moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I like that your goals are realistic too. Like Casey said at the beginning of the show that he wants to make sure in 2020 he finishes every race. But he's already outdone that, right? So, I mean, even getting a 7th, like, I'm sure he wanted to win, right? But that's still fantastic, dude.
Yep, finished. Got some ideas on the way home.
Dude,
I'm sure.
those races are nothing. Those are so gnarly, dude.
Right.
So, I think it's cool.
That was a fun track back there for sure.
So some of these Ultra 4 things, I was talking about this with one of my buddies. Like, so being a motocross guy and growing up and stuff, like King of the Hammers has, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but it has little interest to me. Like, but On the other hand, I can respect everybody on another level.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because it's so freaking gnarly.
Right.
And like the stuff that Travis just did this weekend, like, so it's like a totally different type of racing and a different mindset that you got to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, all I can say about that sort of stuff is I got to take my hat off to Jamie McCoy for going as fast as he did, because he was running as fast at lap times as the big 4,400 cars in his UTV, which is pretty crazy.
That's nuts, dude. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like Mitch Guthrie, senior, junior, both of them, like the KOH stuff that they do, and now the Miller brothers, like, and being able to take a UTV, and I think he did 4,400 class too this year.
He finished 15th in 4,400, which is very respectable in that.
That's fucking insane, dude.
It is insane. And that is just the progression of UTVs and how fast they're moving forward. And I know I was watching earlier and you guys were talking about the new Polaris that everybody's been spinning rumors of. And that thing will, if it's what everybody thinks it is, it'll be a game changer, I think, again.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty.
08.
I think it'd be pretty cool for another game changer. We had a bunch of comments just come in, I guess, because everybody likes Ultra 4 way more than me. So Ultra 4,
King of the Hammers,
yeah, King of the Hammers. So Brian Hawkins said Ultra 4 would be his dream rig. And then what are some of the other ones right there, Casey?
So Robert Hargis says favorite section of King of the Hammers, or better yet, least favorite section of King of the Hammers.
Oh, so that's a question to Travis.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite and least favorite section at the KOH?
Favorite and least favorite. I would definitely probably say backdoor is probably the least favorite.
That's the one where you go down, you have to like ride your nose and like pull out of it or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's like a giant hole.
Yeah.
So you drive down a big waterfall into, and it's pretty well down to bedrock, so it's not going to get much deeper. But the problem is you have all the loose stuff from above that just constantly keeps.
But it looks like it can swallow a
down.
UTV.
But yeah, pretty much that's what it does.
Yeah, if you're up on
UTVs
that,
aren't quite big enough for that drop.
So as you're coming at it, it's all that stuff's coming apart, and you don't really have great control, right? And then you got to get on it to get so you don't nose in. Yeah, that does sound pretty interesting.
It looks crazy.
8 foot drop.
There's a few other parts in that track. It all depends on which direction Dave makes the course go, because the trails are different whether you're going up them or down them. I mean, I would way rather just winch up backdoor than have to go down it.
Yeah, so I guess it's just the way it is. What did Robert say about the Miller brothers?
Miller blew a front diff during 4,400 race and was out for an hour and a half. If he wouldn't have broken that, imagine where he could have placed.
Hunter called in the other day, and he was talking about that same stuff too. But he was pretty pumped on his brother or Cody Cole. I don't remember who raced it, but anyways, so he was pretty pumped that he did it. So, what was
the Miller? Yeah, the Millers have they raised the level for sure. The Millers and Kyle Chaney and Phil Blarton, those four. I mean, they blitzed that course last year.
It's pretty rad to see that all. So, what was the other question? What was your most favorite part?
Yeah, worst, least, and
most
and
favorite
most.
part
Yep.
of King of Hammers.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into the finish line.
That's a good one.
All right, so I don't feel as bad. I don't feel like such an asshole then when he says all this stuff.
Well, and everybody that's pumped on it, they know they go for the drama, the race, and everything, and the drama. I mean, it just sounds like the whole event's pretty freaking cool.
Okay, so the event part about it, I think, is bitching, but I just don't like. I'm like the old school Rhino guy that doesn't like the big rocks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because he can't get over them. So I still have that underlying mentality. But I bet you if I sat in a passenger seat with the Miller brothers, I'd be like, "Oh my god, this is so fun."
I'm sure it's one of those love-hate relationships. Like you love to go do it, and when you're done, you're like, oh my gosh, again.
Can't wait to go
just
home.
Destroyed everything, but you can't wait to do it again. You say you're not going to do it again, but you can't get ready, or you can't wait to prep again. I'll bet you that's how it is.
Does it kind of feel like that, Travis?
Yeah, definitely. In a lot of different ways. King of Hammers, it's a very unique race in that you'll see things in that you won't ever see in any other race.
Yeah,
because
I can. Well, Jeff Angel just commented in and said Chocolate Thunder was a parking lot.
Yeah, it was this year. It was crazy. I didn't go this year. I was home having a little boy, so I got to watch it all on the live feed, and it was it was pretty funny to see all those guys get broken and stack up in Chocolate Thunder this year.
So with the Ultra 4 stuff that you just did this in Tennessee, like how different is it? Like, I mean, obviously the terrain's different, but there's still so much gnarly stuff in terrain like that.
Oh yeah, we were only doing I know 4, 5, or 6, something in that number. Never finished one lap, and it was only a 6-mile lap. So
dang.
That should probably tell you.
Yeah, that puts it in perspective.
The attrition. Yeah.
Wow.
And I think another 3 or 4 dropped out and only made one lap.
So even if I don't have any ambition to go win one of these races, like some of these dudes have got to be like their level of skill set that they have has got to be so high.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To be able to finish and to be able to win.
Yeah. So right now there's a guy by the name of Scott Lesage. He's from down in Arizona. Do you know Scott by chance?
I don't know. Like, I want to say I've heard his name, but I don't know that I've shook his hand or anything. No.
Well, he's basically leading the national points in Ultra 4 in the UTV division this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he placed second out in Tennessee, which was his first trip out there, and placing second against all those East Coast boys that run that track all the time. That's pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, it is.
To me.
Sounds like this dude's we might need to get him on the Dirt Life show, huh?
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool.
Scott's pretty fast. He runs an NA Razor. He does almost all the work himself on his car. Does a lot of fab work. So I think he would definitely be somebody you should have on the Dirt Life.
Jeff Angel said he would definitely go out there again. It sounds like it would be pretty cool to go out there, and plus, like the whole vibe, like I think is super cool.
Yeah, sounds like it. Bucket list race. Alec Hoffman says, "Yep."
To get out to KOH.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it sounds like you're going to do KOH this coming year, huh?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
That's going to be cool, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We have some rapid-fire questions for you, but I also wanted to thank your family for letting you stay up so late. Obviously, you got the new baby there, and the wife is obviously letting you stay up late with us, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll make sure and let them know.
All right, so you ready for the rapid-fire Q&A questions?
Sure.
All right. So the first one I think we know, but you can start off.
Okay, yeah. iRacing or real racing?
Oh, real racing.
So are you into Supercross and motocross still?
A little bit. I don't follow it that much right now.
All right, so we'll throw this question out there. We'll throw this question out there and see if you can still answer it. Roxon or Tomac?
Oh, Tomac.
You're going Tomac?
Favorite food?
Yep.
Say it again, Case.
Favorite food? Yeah, favorite food.
Oh, favorite food, steak.
Nice.
Ooh, that's cool. What are you going with sides, though? Are you going veggies? Are you going potatoes?
Probably potato.
Steak and potato. It's my kind of guy right there, man. Steak and potatoes.
Pretty simple.
Little Smokies or pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls.
Favorite soda?
Wait, has anybody ever picked Little Smokies?
Yeah.
Who did? Do you remember?
I did.
I picked Little Smokies too, I thought.
Oh, maybe it was just us then.
Dude, Everybody's on pizza rolls. We got to get somebody else to pick Little
They
Smokies.
are pretty darn good.
Maybe we'll ask it in a different way. Little Smokies or pizza rolls. Let's see what they say.
Favorite soda?
Favorite soda?
Dr. Pepper.
Man, I don't drink soda anymore, so I can't even think. Probably.
Let's see.
I can't even think. None of it.
None of them? That's a good one.
You're not going for soda? What about favorite energy drink? Have you had an energy drink lately?
Ooh, favorite energy drink?
Maybe
do you remember... What's that?
Maybe we should do coffee or tea on some of them instead.
Coffee.
You see?
There you go.
We should do coffee.
Yeah,
or
you
tea.
knew that one immediately, right?
All right, Uggs or Crocs?
Crocs.
Are you one of the people that runs your Crocs in 4-wheel drive?
I don't even have any Crocs, so I don't know what to tell you about that.
But if he had to pick, he's going Crocs. That's funny. Most memorable race?
Most memorable race? Probably World Championship, Jackson Hole. I got to race my dad and brother for King of the Hill.
Ooh,
we got beat. I got beat by 0.2 of a second by the guy who co-drove with me at my first 2 King of Hammers. His name is Dennis Dermis, and he's actually in the Colorado Hall of Fame, Off-Road Hall of Fame, Racing Hall of Fame. He's a badass, true badass. He was a national champion snowcrosser, world champion hill climber. I mean, I know he's raced all sorts of stuff throughout his life. So
dang, that's cool.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky. I've been around some pretty cool people. A few of them aren't here with us anymore, but they.
You think that's from
I've been pretty fortunate
from having such a long-standing reputation in the snowmobile world? Is that probably why you've been having to be able to hang around with such cool people?
That's who. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely who I've been talking about, is the snowmobile people that I've gotten to know through racing, and then so lucky to get to meet all the people that I'm getting to meet through off-road racing. It's I don't know. It's unbelievable. I raced snowmobiles with a guy by the name of Chuck Hogan, and his dad is in the original Dust to Glory.
Dang.
Yeah, he is Al Hogan, who rolls his truck and gets it back on all four and finishes.
Oh yeah, I remember
and
that.
He's in that movie. And it's been crazy to get into desert racing, and I've watched Dust to Glory again. I remember watching it years ago, and now I race against a lot of those guys that are in that movie, and it's very trippy.
That's kind of surreal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's cool.
We got some comments coming in. Jody Workman says Little Smokies. Jeff Angel said the girls like Little Smokies. And then Robert Hargis said coffee with honey.
Yeah, that's a good setup.
Yeah, coffee with honey. Robbie knows.
Setup.
Coffee with honey? Is that a good setup?
Yeah, it is. Give it a try if you haven't.
All right. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Ooh, that one's tough. Probably Rocky Road.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Nice. Ski or snowboard? I think I have my guess here.
Oh, I've done both. I don't like either. I'm going to say snowmobiling 100%.
Nice.
Either one.
There you go.
You're going to punt?
Yeah. I think we know this one too.
You're going to punt and just say snowmobiling? Dogs or cats?
Yep. Dogs.
Yep, we heard them. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix or YouTube? I probably spend more time on YouTube.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that's a first.
Mm-hmm.
Burrito or taco?
Burrito or tacos? Oh, burrito by far.
What kind of burrito are you going with then? I think you're the second dude that's answered burrito, so I'm going to compare it to the other guy.
We have a Loco place that has the Loco burrito. It's pretty damn good.
What the heck is in that thing?
Good.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's obviously
man.
crazy.
usually get it with steak and
potatoes.
Yeah.
It's usually, it's got rice and beans in it and whatnot, you know, and it's got this awesome sauce on the outside with some pork chunks in it. That's what makes it good.
So whenever anybody orders one at the local shop and they go loco, does that like all of a sudden mean they're like an enemy or they're like your best friend?
It's fine. Best friend.
The local burrito, man.
Supercross or motocross?
Supercross or motocross?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I like the endurance of motocross.
Nice.
Well, motocross is coming up. They announced the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
What other form of racing would you like to try? And this can be an open question, too. We always preface it by telling everybody it could be like powerboat racing. It could be monster trucks. It could be F1. It could be anything.
Lawn tractors.
I think...
How funny would it be if somebody said that?
A rally car would be probably pretty fun to get behind the wheel of.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. What kind? Are you going full tilt WRC?
Yeah.
That
would
be pretty cool.
All right, final question.
Jody Workman said it's called queso.
Final question. This is this makes the show or breaks it, so no pressure. No, not at all.
All right.
Okay, ready? Chips and guacamole or fries and ketchup. Or you could say ranch if you wanted to.
Chips for sure.
Chips
right.
and guacamole?
Chips and guac.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So have you ever done any score races like down in Ensenada?
No score, but we did go and race. Ultra 4 went down to San Felipe, and that was a fun race for sure. And that's the only time I've been down Baja way. Maybe if I get a couple more years of desert racing experience and build my team, maybe we'll go do Baja or something.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. The main reason I asked that was not because of the importance of the races, just the importance of the tacos. So, we love going down there, man. Ensenada is one of the best places, and obviously Mexico has a lot of good food down there. So that's one fun place to go. And obviously you can have a good time with the boys racing and all that stuff too. Those trips are memorable like no other.
Yep. San Felipe, we had some good food there. I know that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show, dude, and staying up so late with us. Like I said, thank you to the family for letting you stay up and talk shop with all of us boys.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. It was a ball. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, dude, and thank you for being such a integral part of the Dirt Life show and helping us out so much, dude. We really, really appreciate it. So the next things for you, everybody can follow along with you and watch you do all of these fun races that you have coming up. Pay attention to them at the Vegas to Reno race. You can follow them at Zollinger Racing Products on Instagram, and if you want, you can follow Travis as well. He's got an Instagram account. You can also look at the Dirt Life Show and go follow them through the Dirt Life Show. And like I said, man, thank you so much, Travis. We really appreciate it, and we wish you all the best in business and obviously racing for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Thank you, George. I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. Say hi to the family and all the guys at the shop.
Will do. Talk to you guys later.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Yep. Bye.
It's neat to understand, like, the people that manufacture all these great products for such an awesome industry.
Definitely.
We talked about, like, obviously if Polaris comes out with this new vehicle and Robbie Gordon has all this success with his, but it's not just the new vehicle that makes the industry move forward, right? It's all these little things that happen along the way, and Travis is a big part of that. Right.
Definitely. Anybody that can take the, what's happening already and take it to the next level, that's pretty, that's respectful. Absolutely. Because they're going to, they're jumping in and doing their thing and trying to maybe not make it the next best thing, but better, and get it to the next place. And then again, everything kind of goes together, which, speaking of your trip to California.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely want to talk about that. But so let's just finish it up by saying, like, we've had so many guests on the show, like your buddy Adam Drake, you yourself, other guys like the UTV Wolfpack guys, all these guys that have pushed the industry so much further, right? And they make it such a better thing because they can see it going forward and they can help, and they design things to make it better. You did that in your guys' industry. Adam did it to help you guys with it. And it's just so awesome to see that. And I got an opportunity to spend some time with the Honda Off-Road guys this past week. And like I said, I got to go visit Craig Scanlon, and to hear the mindset of these people that help these programs and help these big companies and stuff. First of all, I like people in general, right? And so for me, the most important thing was to hear how they interact and how they think, because that's what pushes the industry. But to see the actual race team and the actual structure and the progression in the vehicles, like what that comes out of their brain and actually makes it onto the car, and like what these things turn out, is phenomenal. Like
totally.
It really is mind blowing.
And they're all in, obviously.
I wouldn't even like. They give everything for these programs,
right,
and for these things that they are passionate about, just like Travis does. And so it's so cool to see the progression, man. Like, I remember leaving the Honda Off-Road shop and thinking to myself, and Alfonso was with me too, and going, I can't believe the difference in the way that the UTV industry is now compared to what it used to be. And the way that these guys are talking, how far it's going to go in the next couple of years. Like, it's insane. I used the word phenomenal already, but it really is. Like, it's just so crazy. And the professionalism that they have behind it, I thank Jeff Proctor and his whole group for letting us come in there and look at the stuff that they had. The Dirt Life is going to have, once we show it to Jeff and get it approved, a shop tour with them. We filmed a whole bunch of stuff, and we're going to share it with everybody.
Cool.
So they're going to be able to see the passion that those guys have at Honda, and it's going to be really cool. We'll get to release that soon, so I can't wait. Do we have any more comments before we sign off? Next week.
Oh, yeah. Jeff Angel. Cinders.
Oh, yeah. He wanted us to say the YXZAZ August 7th through the 9th. They're all going. It's a big group of Yamaha people, but anybody's invited. You can take your Polaris, your Can-Am, your Honda, and you can go up there and hang out with all those guys. It's in Flagstaff, Arizona. It's August 7th through the 9th, and it's a group called YXZAZ. So if you guys want to go up there, get out of the heat, and go hang out, there's some super, super fun trails up there. I guarantee you guys can't make it up all those hills because they're so difficult. So if you do, call into the show and let us know if you did make it up some of those hills. So if you want to get any more information on that, go to YXZAZ on Facebook and check it out. Any side-by-sides are welcome. Yep. And even some guys ride dirt bikes and stuff up there too. So
and Robert's making the comment about how the UTV, where they're going. UTV's getting faster every year. He said the last BOR race, UTV took the overall, even over the trucks. Amazing to see where off-road is going. Yeah,
it really is.
Yep.
We've been talking about that. We've been having some internal discussions with people about how crazy fast the UTVs are getting now, and how long it will take for them to get an overall in some of these bigger races. So I think that's really, really cool to see, man. I don't know if a UTV is ever going to beat a $500,000 trophy truck, but
right.
It'll still be awesome to see them trying to.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you guys very, very much for all tuning in. Razor Junkie, please message us on Instagram so you can pick up your $500 Shock Therapy gift card. Jody Workman, thank you for giving us the Y'all Rock comment. We really appreciate that. You also won, so please message us on Facebook or Instagram, whatever your preference is, and we will get you connected with the Shock Therapy guys too, and you can get your suspension all figured out so you don't bottom out next time. So thank you very much. It looks like we had one question for Travis, but it's a little late, man. So send it to us on Instagram or Facebook, and we can try to get that over to him and see if we can get it answered. thank you so much for Travis being a part of the show. It was really, really cool to have him on tonight to talk about the stuff. I can't believe he even stayed up after traveling all the way from Tennessee back to Utah yesterday.
Totally forgot about that. Sorry, bud.
So it's crazy. And we really appreciate it, man. He's been an integral part of the show, so thank you very much to him.
Sure.
Thank you guys very much for joining us. You guys are our lifeblood, like I always say. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors, Shock Therapy, Rugged Radios. Thank you to the guys at Solder Weld. Thank you to Ryan at KMC. He was obviously a part of the show that we did with Honda this last week. So you can use the code DIRTLIFE on any of their websites, shocktherapist.com, ruggedradios.com, solderweld.com, and save a whole bunch of money. So once again, thank you very much to everybody who participates in the Dirt Life. And we will have some more giveaways coming very soon as well. We have some masks or handkerchiefs. I don't know what they're really called, but they're the ones that go over your neck from the UTV Wolfpack. We have a bunch of KMC hats. So we're going to have some fun with you guys in the next couple weeks.
Gators.
Here. What are they?
Gator.
Is that what they're really called?
I think that's what it's called.
I don't know what they're called.
I think it comes from fishing. I think that's where that started.
Really?
I could be totally out, but I'm almost positive that's what they're calling that.
I don't know if so it's a Wolfpack gator?
I think so.
So 2 animals in one?
Yeah, right. Not that kind of gator.
All right, so we're going to give away a whole bunch of stuff. So pay attention to our social media, guys. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. We'd love you as always. Next
gator.
week.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm not crazy.
So next week we have Josh LaHaye from a company called CryoHeat Metal Treatments coming on. Josh is actually a really, really awesome guy. He just like Travis, he's pushing the industry forward. What they do is they treat metal. So they treat gear parts, they treat transmissions, they treat engine components, everything that you can think of from your valve train all the way down to the gears that you shift in your transmission and your axles and things like that. It's a lot less friction, a lot more horsepower. It's just awesome to be able to see guys like that pushing forward.
Yeah,
so
sounds interesting.
You don't have to get a bigger motor. You can do other stuff to make more power.
Right,
so
free it up. Yep.
It's really cool. And he's got a fantastic story, man. So I can't wait to talk with Josh a little bit more and get his backstory. But like I said, thank you guys very much. Please pay attention in the next couple weeks for that Honda video going to drop. That's a super, super cool video. And thank you very much to Alfonso for helping me. Thank you very much to Craig Scanlon for going on a bike ride with me last week. And thank you to all the guys at the Honda Off-Road Shop, Jeff Proctor, Adam Gunn, Evan Weller, and like I said, Alfonso. Thank you guys so much. We hope you guys have a great week. We love you. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.